What's going on? How y'all doing? So, panel man, we got Boheme, Willie, Mont Hinkney, myself, Lapeef. Welcome to the Wednesday show. How y'all doing on this fantastic Wednesday?
What's going on now? How everybody doing?
Doing great. How are y'all?
Another day in the paradise, man. The day just keep getting interesting. See what we got in the chat. What's going on, Dale Matthew? How you doing? Marcus Evans, what's good? Uh, Wesley Hillard says, how many of those kids come from a single parent home?
Damn.
Okay, obedient, obsidian. So it's just the men that are dangerous, the dangerous ones. Okay. Yeah, we're Gilbert says what's up, good people. Daniel Berry Sport Highlight says sup. Wayne Goddard says good evening, chat and JR and panel. I was just saying to myself, I hope JR covered this topic. Yeah, Fishing and Fitz says good evening, everyone. As you guys come in, do me a favor, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you catch us on replay, hit the like button. And also make sure you subscribe as well. So we got an interesting topic. I'll probably have a couple of topics on the back end, but we're going to get into this Chicago incident. Mother and son was attacked in Chicago outside of a Chicago elementary school. Did you guys see any of the video circulating around? Are you guys a little bit familiar with it? Yeah, a little bit. Well, he ain't been off the grid. Okay. Well, I saw it, man. It was ruthless. It was ruthless. It was Chicago. You know, I've seen a lot in Chicago, so I'm just really not surprised these days as far as what you see. But I'm pretty sure every city got their own thing that's going on. But Chicago always seems to find themselves in the news some way, somehow. So I'm going to go ahead and play this video from the news, and then we'll go ahead and get some immediate reactions. Let's get into it.
And a violent attack on a mother and her son has led to outrage outside of a school in South Deering. Now, part of the fight was caught on camera, and we do want to warn you that parts of it can be difficult to watch here. Damn! You can see the 33-year-old mother pinned against a fence while in a fist fight with multiple kids on Monday. Now, we've, of course, blurred the faces because they're underage, but word of the attack in the video quickly spread on social media. The next day, demonstrators showed up at Bright Elementary School, and then several police officers also responded to block the entrance to the school and then protect kids out inside.
This is not the first time the kids have done this. Just talk around the streets that these kids have pretty much been raising themselves, and they have not been held accountable. They have vandalized cars. They have harassed adults and children.
Now, we've heard allegations from other parents that their children were bullied by the same group of kids. Mayor Brandon Johnson is responding to this, saying he's deeply disturbed by the video and called it unacceptable. The mayor went on to say that CPD has deployed additional resources to that area and that they're working with CHA on additional measures to support the family. Now, they have also activated support from community-based organizations that focus on youth services and violence prevention. Meanwhile, the Chicago Teachers Union also issued a statement calling for more funding to pay for safe passage workers, restorative justice coordination, and after-school programming. Well, Reverend Jesse.
I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. I know back in the day, they did have the safe passageway, which was something introduced for students and I guess their parents to get home safely. So they had designated people with vests on in the walking paths when kids were getting out and they were walking home. There was some visible orange vests to let people know that there was some people that was watching. But what are your immediate thoughts? The video was much graphic than that. You know, I don't know how sensitive YouTube is, so I don't want to really get into all of the video. But most of you guys have seen it. What are your thoughts? You think this is a children's problem? Would you blame the parents? What are your thoughts?
I think you got to go back to the source. You got to go back to who gave birth to them little motherfuckers, man. You have to. Now, I didn't. they said it was in front of the school. Normally, the staff is out there. You know what I'm saying? Teachers or maybe a principal or a counselor, somebody of authority. It's usually out there. I assume he's either what they call a car rider / walker. I don't know. Is that why they went out that direction? Because I didn't see no buses around. And normally they have at least 1 or 2 staff members out there for that. But seeing what I've seen so far in that video, didn't see anybody. Just one woman and whoever was filming and a bunch of kids, feel a need to put hands and feet on this woman. So that's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, typically it's impossible to cover every single area, but you would have to have somebody actively watching the cameras and being visible. I can honestly see, if I could think about the days I was in high school and maybe even elementary school, there were some loopholes. There were fights that would kick off that people weren't able to see. Because if you see a bunch of kids, you typically don't see the chaos until maybe about a minute later, because there are so many kids around. And then what makes this situation so unique is that we don't know how close it was to the school. At least I don't know. As of yet, I can probably look that up. But when they pulled the phones out, we just know that it was somewhere around the school. So it happened quick. The fight didn't last that long. It might have lasted about a couple minutes, but the 2 or 3 minutes that we did see, it was pretty bad. Go ahead, Mont. Yeah, my internet messing up. Go ahead, Willie.
I don't. It's I give Chicago a hard time. I'm not gonna do that today. But it's just these kids, man. Like these kids being in households that don't have no type of structured leadership in them. Those are the only kids that act like this, and you see that that's a problem that runs rampant inside of Chicago. So I'm not shocked or surprised that this happened. I'm not shocked or surprised that kids are willing to put their hands on adults. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with women. A lot of women will talk crazy to a man because they think that it's cool because he's not supposed to hit her back. These kids talk crazy to adults because they think it's cool because the only person they got to worry about hitting the back are their parents. So, because if she'd have been out there throwing haymakers and she'd have knocked out 3 or 4 of them little motherfuckers, they'd have stopped fighting. But instead, she pulled up, got beat up with her son. I guess they bonded that way.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we get you.
I'm old school when it comes to this. I'm real old school. I think that people need to whoop kids' asses. I think if you old enough to I don't care how old you is. If a baby slap me, I think you should slap the baby back. I just think that's just how they need to learn how life works. They need to learn how nature works. That's nature. I think kids need their ass whooped. I think we need more men in schools. I think we need to, they need to be able to put their hands on kids. They will be better. They will be better. I'm not trying to buy none of the gentle parents and stuff. I'm not trying to buy none of that. I think you should be balanced and reasonable and diplomatic. But however, it comes a time where you gotta put your hands on kids. I think your kids should have a healthy fear of you. I think they should have a healthy fear of other adults. Because if you do something, you can get your ass whooped. You ain't gonna die. You'll be all right. You'll be back to school tomorrow. But yeah.
So you saying that if one of those little kids would have hit you, you would have hit them back?
I'd have whooped their ass. All of them.
You say whoop, you mean like the tail end? Or you talking
with my fist. I don't gotta take my belt off. I'm gonna whoop their ass. Cam Newton. I'm running through all of them.
What is that? Like, is that legal when it comes to kids?
Probably, it should be legal. It should be. I don't know if it's legal or not, but it should be.
Okay.
An adult can defend himself from a child if the child's hitting him, especially if it's not his.
I don't know. Just
one of those. That's not completely true, especially if you're a teacher. They won't allow you to do that, to defend yourself without consequence of losing your job. So
yeah, because that's a teacher. She's an employee. That mom probably worked at something. She a CNA or some shit. She should have been beating them kids' ass and then giving them the medical assistance they needed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But what are your thoughts?
Y'all not gonna like them as usual, but it's the parents' fault. But it's also it's the parents' fault in raising them, but it's also parents' fault in paying attention to the wrong things that are influencing their children. We always talk about what agendas are out here trying to change our children to y'all know what instead of checking what they watch because it influences them to do the wrong things as well, like this. So they watch a whole lot of reality TV where people just beating up on each other, or they watch a lot of I don't know what kids watch nowadays, but there's a lot of violence in the things that our kids watch. And I think that people are paying attention to the wrong agendas. Um, Also, we have reached a point in our culture as Black people where we have not allowed other adults, and I know that this is a catch-22 situation, we have not allowed other adults to reprimand our children outside of our eyesight. So they get to do whatever they want to do. We used to be afraid of the other adults that were not our parents because we know that we were going to get in trouble with them and then we were going to get in trouble with our parents. And that doesn't happen anymore. And I understand nowadays you can't really trust a whole lot of people with that, but you know who you can trust. And so I think that we've lost the community aspect where kids knew that they were watching. Like they could correct you. Now parents don't want you saying nothing to their children, even if they are wrong. So I think parents just need to do better all the way around. But they're just not paying much attention to their children anymore.
All right. We play so they did have a lot of people. They called for people to come up to the school, I think the next day. And so this is a little bit of footage from there.
Baby, I love you. God is with you, girl. Please. Yes, yes, yes. Come on, baby. Come on. No justice, no peace, baby. God is with you, God. Continue to come on. No justice, no peace. 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 You got it. You want to talk to say something to the camera. I got over 9,000 people on here. They from all states, baby. They here to support us here, baby.
We here for you, baby.
We got you, baby. Scoot over some for me, right there. No justice.
Let us speak.
Hold on.
So you just be like, I'm walking out.
You on the court, sir? You on the court? Your foot on the court.
Hey, she gonna talk. She gonna
Let's hear
talk.
what she gotta say.
Hey, shut the fuck up. Go ahead, baby.
Connect it quick. I don't think it's
God, what?
At this school for 2 years. Nobody's ever done nothing. No teacher conferences, no nothing. They'll say they made a teacher conference, whatever it is. And then yesterday, walking home with my kids, they were literally waiting the way we walk home just to jump all of us.
So now we waiting.
Just to jump all of us. So I asked my kids to come to the next side of the they were literally waiting the way we walk home just to jump all of us.
So now we waiting.
Just to jump all of us. So I asked my kids to come to the next side of the street with me, so they wouldn't get jumped. So we kept walking. They followed us all the way there, and then they still followed us. They followed my son, they hit my son first.
That's right.
Then they dragged me in the grass and pulled my little baby hair. And I have video footage of that.
Yes, we do. Everybody will.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you deserve it.
Juvenile. How do you feel about the jail?
They need to be, mamas need to go to jail too. So
I appreciate everybody.
the mamas love to throw the kids in the garbage can. What you talking about?
Right. I'm here. I'm thankful for everybody that came out here. Justice and juvenile.
This is how we come together.
Yes. The father want to say something, y'all. This the daddy.
And once we get them out of here, it'll be a better one.
We need somebody from the school out here too. Where they at?
Give her a gift. She's trying to give her a gift. That's something for you, baby.
I was listening, man. I just, I don't know. Sometimes just a lot of ghetto rhetoric, man, going on. So I'd be down to thinking about it a little bit. But outside of that, like, what do you guys think? Because I saw a video where somebody's son or daughter, I don't know which one it was, they was getting bullied, and so the father took it upon himself, and he approached the kids and just started hitting them. Is it a difference between being bullied verbally and somebody putting their hands on them? Like, do you think somebody, if they was being bullied verbally, do you think that is warranted for the kids to be attacked?
No. So we have to teach our children to not pay a lot of attention to words. I think that it is a weak mindset that makes you physically react to words. And we're passing that on to our children. If words make you react physically where you could potentially ruin your future, alter your future in a negative way, and you pass that on to your children, then you're teaching them the same thing. I think that we need to learn how to teach our children what reality is. And reality is when you grow up and somebody says something to you and you put your hands on that person, you're the one that's going to be going to jail. So we need to stop teaching our children to go out there and fight just because somebody said something to you. Kids used to say mean things when I was little all the time. Things like yo mama. And then I would go home because I didn't get into a fight and I would tell my mom, well, they said my mama. And my mom was like, what I got to do with it? I wasn't there. Am I hurt? Ain't nothing happened to me. Why are you so mad? Why you get mad over somebody saying something about me and they don't even know me? So I think that parents need to stop teaching their children to react so violently and negatively to somebody just saying some words to them.
Let me add this before somebody else speak. Devil Games X, a member for 10 months, said we need to bring back belt to the butt. Gentle parenting has made a lot of kids complete monsters. What do you guys think? Gentlemen, are we telling? I know both said if it's just words, just let it go. It ain't harming you. How do you guys feel about that?
I agree with the bringing back the belt to butt thing. So I believe in a balanced approach, right? Like, for example, I just had a situation with my daughter today, right, where my girl had told me that she was playing an app she wasn't supposed to, so I told her she can't play. And when I talked to her about it, I said, I was pretty much like, hey, what were you doing today? What did you do? And she was pretty much honest with me. Every question I asked her, she was like, well, I was on an app I wasn't supposed to be on. And she said, I'm saying, why did you do it? And she said, I did it because of this. And I was talking to her about, do you think that using that app is worth me taking your phone away for the rest of your life? And I was talking to her. She was being honest with me. Now, when I was younger, my dad would have, as soon as I said I was on an app I wasn't supposed to be on, he'd have went right in my shit. He'd have went right in my shit as soon as I told him. But she was honest with me, and I know that I tell them to be honest with me, and they're going to get in less trouble. So I got to be more diplomatic. I got to think about my approach. And I told her, okay, go continue to play, and I'll figure out what I'm gonna do with you later. There are situations where I believe you getting physical is necessary, and there are situations where I believe that it's not necessary. I think we should be balanced. I think it should always be on the table to some degree. That threat should always be there because it's there in real life. In reality, it's there. You're liable to say something to somebody or do something to somebody, and you're not going to be able to control how they react to it or how they respond to it. It should be balanced. I understand what Bo's perspective of let's talk about it, because I love to talk. That's why I'm here. I love to communicate. I'm very calm when I communicate. However, it still needs to be on the table. Your kids do need a healthy fear of you. They need to understand that it can go there. And I think in reality, even when we're dealing with countries, when we're dealing with people, the idea that it can go there should always be at the very end. So that's just what I believe.
Yeah, I don't think I ever been a part. I don't think none of my kids were never bullied, but if it was ever a situation where I'm trying to find a good example. I had a situation where I don't think the teacher or the teacher or the school may not have been aware of a situation, and so I'll bring it to their attention. I'll make sure I tell them to watch this or monitor this, because I know 9 times out of 10 my kids got something to do with it as well, which they have. So, but I still want them to watch. You just never know what's being taken place. One of the things I used to do with my oldest was I didn't want to hear nothing he got to say. If he had any involvement, he was always wrong because he did something. But as I got a little older and wiser, I started to at least hear what they saying, because sometimes it's not really them initiating it; it's somebody else initiating it. And so you have to be able to get all the information first before you decide what's really going on. But it's one of those fine things. If your kid is on probation and it's a possibility that they're gonna get kicked out, you might want to tell them to tell somebody instead of getting involved, because if they already on their way out, or if they on some type of papers for just being violent or hostile or putting their hands on somebody, then you got to tread that lightly, in my opinion. Bougie, we're talking about the mother and the son that got attacked in Chicago. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, I've seen that on TikTok and Instagram
Mm.
within the last 2, 3 days. Real heavy,
Mhm.
especially because I follow a lot of like social media comedians from that area, like Eastside Ivo and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So, what are your thoughts about what happened?
You want me to give my diplomatic answer or my mom answer?
You can give everything.
My diplomatic answer is that kids are kids and they make piss poor decisions and they need guidance. And I do believe that because they are children, it is our responsibility to rear them properly and help them understand their mistakes. So that requires a second chance. That's my diplomatic answer. My mom answer is, when some little girls tried to jump my daughter a couple months ago in the field across the street from me, I went and put on my Converse boots and my tights and my sports bra. And I said, me and my daughter are the same size. So if you'll fight my daughter, I'll fight you. I would have whipped ass. I'd have slang that motherfucker from here to there. Each one of them kids. I don't care. I don't care. Because the way that I honestly look at my children, and this is just me being so honest with you, this isn't, I'm trying to give any judgment or anything. It's a lot of girls in my generation that laugh about abortions, adoption, dropping the kids off at grandma's house, not taking care of them, whatever, right? I don't do that. Each one of my children, I know that I had them based off of something in my spirit said, you can do this. You know that you want to be a mom. There may not ever be a right time to be a mom, but you will figure out, you will do whatever you can to give your children the best life possible, right? So when you plant a seed and you watch it grow and you make sure it gets proper sunlight and you make sure you water it every day, how dare somebody think they're going to cut your tree down? How dare they? How dare they? So with that being said, nobody's going to cut my tree down. So if it was my kids, if it was my children, I'm going to protect them the way they absolutely need and deserve to be protected. Now, I have absolutely the utmost empathy for this mom because, you know, she's like, she has sickle cell, she's sick, et cetera, et cetera. But it's certain things that I don't play about, and I don't play about my kids because it's a lot of moms that play about their kids. And when those kids grow up, they're telling these stories of a traumatized life, how they feel like they didn't have parents that believed them, that didn't have their back, whatever the case was, whatever. I'm gonna go to war for my babies because I feel like that's what a big part of being a parent is, especially when you know you raised your child or children a certain way and you know that they don't deserve X, Y, and Z. And you know that they can be believed and they can be trusted and et cetera, et cetera. So I'd like, there's not going to be ever an instance where there's 10, 12 kids out there trying to like handle my children. I'm getting in the field with my babies. And I wouldn't care what no other parent has to say about it. Because after I slap your child upside the head, please go get your mama. Please go get your daddy. Because my kids got mama and daddy, got grandma and grandpa too. And that's just how I honestly feel.
Anybody want to respond to Bougie or Dope? Can't hear you, Hank, just so you know.
Oh, yeah, that's not gonna help your child once your child gets in them four walls. Ain't nothing you're gonna be able to do. Your child is by himself once he gets to them four walls. So
Well, no,
what
I
you
understand
want to
that.
do
I
is
really
keep
do.
your
It's
child.
not that I'm
Go
saying
ahead,
I want
man.
to fight their battles. I'm just saying that when you know, like if you really know in your heart that you raise good children, respectable children, et cetera, I'm saying it in a sense of like I said, I understand that mom didn't do X, Y, and Z or physically couldn't do X, Y, and Z because she has sickle cell and et cetera, et cetera. But it's like, I don't think anybody on here is going to watch their kid get jumped or just going to get beat on by a bunch of 4'11" elementary schoolers. Like, no, I'm finna smack the shit out of somebody's kid because my child doesn't deserve that. Your child deserves that because your child has a lack of respect. Your child has the problem. You got to think about it. Why are 12 kids trying to fight somebody's mom? They obviously need their ass beat. They do. Like, that's insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know that you raised your children to be respectable. Your children are turning the other cheek. Your children are trying to walk away, and somebody still's gonna hit them, bully them, and then even when you try and protect them, now they take it several steps further because that's not a step further. That's several steps further to hit you. Excuse me, to hit you as a grown man, as a father, knowing what you'd poured into your kids, poured into your household, how you have like. No, that's not a battle that even no. There's no way. There's no way, Hank. No, you cannot tell me that you're gonna let some little kids just be getting free licks off of you and your kids.
No, I would air them kids out. I don't give a shit about your kids. I don't. 9 and 99. I don't care about your kids. I will end your kids. And I'll tell my son the same way. If your kids put his hands on my son knows to end you. He knows what that means. I don't have to say nothing else. He knows what to do. So no, we're not gonna do it. But my son knows how to defend himself. That's what I'm saying. Once you get behind them four walls, ain't nothing you can do for your son or your daughter. Ain't nothing you can do for them. They're gonna have to defend themselves. I'll be a goddamn track star and run their ass to the local first teacher of security. If not, they're gonna have to squabble up, go from the shoulders. I know y'all don't do that no more. Most of y'all don't know how. And I understand why, because y'all soft ass parents. So y'all probably never fought. Y'all probably got bullied your whole life and never stood up for yourself. You went to cry to mama and she bitched up and wiped your tears. probably kiss you on your head or wherever you got you knocked out at, and kept it moving. No, shit. If you take that first ass whooping, one of the things gonna have to happen. You're gonna have to bow your back and fight back. I'll be a hell of a runner. Learn how to run from from your enemies or the ops or whatever you want to decide to call them. So no, I wouldn't go for that shit at all. I wouldn't do that at all. But like I said, I don't give a shit about your kids when you put me in that situation though.
You think popping their ass isn't worse than just beating their ass though? Because essentially it's like you're saying that like what it, and I'm not saying you're literally, but I'm trying to get an understanding. Like I'm saying I'm a fight with my kids because they're kids, but I'm not trying to like, I'm speaking in the situation of the literal video. From my understanding at least, that these were a majority of like, let's say like lower middle school, upper elementary school. So we finna pop the 9, the 10, 11, 12-year-olds instead of just punching them in the eye?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I will.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Have you guys ever noticed how when a mom talks about raising kids and these type of situations, they never once mention the father, even the ones that have the father around? It's like they never defer to that father's input. They never say, well, their father teaches them this. It's always about what they taught the kids themselves. And then when we look in these situations, we find out that those kids don't even have fathers. But it doesn't seem as if there's much of a disadvantage from not having a father than to the way that some moms present the way they raise their kids as if the father's not in the house anyway. They're rarely referred to, they're rarely mentioned. And then we're talking about things where the father should be taking the lead on. A mom shouldn't be teaching her kid about defending themselves or fighting. That's not even a feminine trait. That's something that should be coming from the father. But it's the moms having a conversation with the kids. It's the moms telling them what the kids should do. It's the mom saying, well, I'll fight with my child. Like, that's not something that a mom should be doing, especially the ones that have a father around.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. In the particular instance that I'm talking about, so my situation from like what I personally went through, right, was like, because me and my daughter are the exact same size. We're the same height. We were the same size shoe. We could wear the same, like literally, we're like twins. She's damn near actually a little bit taller than me, right? So when she was outside playing and he looked out the window because we literally can see the field that she plays in, which is right across the parking lot, the street. When he sees that some little girls was trying to hit her and mishandle her, in his mind, he's like, as a grown man, I'm not going to go out there and do nothing. So he is just kind of like, okay, I'm finna go. And he came and woke me up because I was taking a nap and he was sitting outside. So he came and woke me up and he was like, yeah, I called her back in the house, but this is what's going on. And they have proceeded to hit her. She says she wants to go outside and handle the situation, but she didn't want to handle the situation alone because my kids are like each 3 to 4 years apart. So her little sister's only 5 at the time. She's 10 almost, and she's a big 10. These other little girls are 10, 11, 12, whatever. So I'm like, of course, I'm finna go outside with my daughter. I don't, and that's how I look at it, versus like my son, who when he gets of age, he's not gonna come get me. Like you said, he would go and get his father. Even if I saw that happening to my son, I'm gonna call his father. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it was different in that woman's situation in the video because she had a daughter that was being physically attacked as well as a son, versus what I was just so speaking on was like my daughter is dealing with other little girls. So as a woman, I'm gonna check the little girl's situation versus my son when he grows up. I know he's gonna go to his dad and this and this and that, you know. And I'm not going to step in that. I'm going to be like, well, whatever your daddy say, whatever y'all got going on, because that's what I do in general. So I can't necessarily say that, at least from what I've seen from children that are in 2-parent homes, a lot of conversations that I have with those women that are married or in long-term relationships and stuff, they let the father handle those types of situations. But it's like when it's your daughter and they're facing other little girls, Willie, I can't see you going outside and hit what.
Yes, you can.
Little
I'm
girl.
telling you right now, I would. That's the thing. I don't defer to my woman to handle man shit. I don't respect, and then
You
men
feel like
shouldn't.
the little girl squabbling is man shit?
It doesn't matter because it's my daughter or my son. If my daughter's outside getting jumped, I'm beating them little semen demons up. If my son is outside getting jumped, I'm fucking them little semen demons up too. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna go back in the house and get their mom and be like, "Hey, babe, they jumping Addie. So can you go out there and handle it?" If it was Aiden, I'll go out there and handle it. No, it's my fucking child. I'm going whoever. It could be grown-ups. It could be midgets. It could be little ponies. It could be a bunch of dogs. I'm the one going out. That's not my woman's place. A woman has no business taking a man's spot.
Bougie, I know you wanted to. Bougie. I look at. I see you wanting to talk. Bougie, let him finish.
Like a woman has no business swapping places with a man in any type of physical contact situation. And the fact that a man would do that makes me question that man to a certain extent. Because I don't give a good goddamn if it's my daughter. Okay, I ask you this: what if it was your son getting jumped by a bunch of girls? Who's gonna handle it then?
I feel like okay. Let me also go a little bit further. What was proceeding to happen was when she came in the house, they were also going in the house to get their mom, and we know that those two, because they're two sisters, and then they have their girl cousin. They only have a mom. So it's like, I'm not, and this is me personally, these are the conversations that I've had with my children's father, where I'm like, I'm not expecting you to go and handle certain situations because, as we know, a lot of people come from single mother homes. So who exactly are you having this parent-to-parent conversation with? A woman? No. I'm finna have this parent-to-parent conversation with a woman. Like, because then at the end of the day, if this woman gets belligerent or she starts yelling, I'm not gonna lie to you. Y'all could call it immature. Y'all could call it I'm still young. You're right. I'm from the hood. I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Sometimes the ghetto bitch come out in me. What you mean this single mama don't have nobody to back her up, so now she getting aggressive with a man because she feels tried? You're not getting aggressive with nobody that's for me. You're not doing that. So before I let it go there, I'm gonna have a woman-to-woman conversation with you. Versus if we're having a situation where, yeah, it is our son, he is definitely taking the lead, but I'm definitely like, I'm playing the back. I'm not gonna lie. Like, just like he did, he was still very present. He was still very much so like standing right there on the stairs while I'm having a conversation with the mama being like, hey, your daughter done put hands on my child. So I don't know what's gonna go on, but that's not gonna happen like that no more, whatever the case is. Because like y'all say all the time, a lot of these women don't necessarily have a father figure for their children. So now they're out there playing both roles, getting aggressive. And if he's having a parent-to-parent conversation, now she's screaming at a grown man. Now she in a grown man phase. That's how I look at it. And those that I tried to explain it to him when we first had kids, to be like, hey, in these type of situations, especially because we're having a daughter first, I kind of want to play the lead.
But I want to ask you a question, Bougie, because this is what I don't understand the idea of getting a woman to fight another woman. To me, I don't understand the idea of making a fight, like sending the less lethal person to a battle. It doesn't make sense to me. If it's time to like fight, or if it's time to like inflict some sort of damage, I can do it much faster and much quicker than my woman struggling out here to fight some. I just don't I don't believe in that fair fight stuff where it's like, oh, let me get my woman because y'all the same size and y'all can have a fair fight and and it's a chance she might lose now. I think that's fair. Like, no, I'm not doing that. And I'm saying with my kids, it's like, I'm the protector. I don't want my girl to ever fight nobody. I don't ever want to see her fight nobody. I'm the protector, right? I'm gonna tell all of y'all little kids, keep your hands to yourself, because I'm letting you know I'm not going to not hit you back. I'm not one of them people. So yeah, I'm the protector. I protect everything, so my woman don't have to fight. I'm you know, yeah.
I 100% get that logic, right? But I'm also not gonna lie. So like I've been in this situation as well, and I'm using this to equate how I see things. We're in the South. This is Atlanta, Georgia. And as much as people would like to say Atlanta, Georgia is progressive, it's not. Because I have called the police to be like, hey, this grown man, this other grown man is causing threat and harm to us while we're in the car. And simply because I am with another grown man that is a black individual, now both of y'all in handcuffs. And oh, they both had guns, so we got to figure it out. No, you don't have to figure it out. Because when I called 911, I told you who the threat was. I told you whose gun was illegal. I told you who the problem was. I told you who was somewhere that they shouldn't have been. So that type of situation is, I guess, in the forefront of my mind when I'm thinking about, yes, he is the most lethal. But if that bitch get her ass knocked off because she got aggressive with that man first and she popped off first and she hit him first and she called folks, right? Now they just looking at him like this big 6'3", huge, 200 something pound black man. Now she gets to play her role as a
Yeah,
woman.
so this the thing, Bougie. I don't know about other guys, but typically guys are not very articulate, and I think that people should work on how they communicate and their emotional intelligence. Because a lot of times when the police pull up, people be irate and like. I know me personally, I'm always going to be the calm one, and I'm always going to be the person that's articulating myself properly, and I'm, you know, they're going to feel my energy of like, oh, he's the adult in the room. I'm always gonna have that energy. I'm never gonna be screaming and yelling. A lot of people don't take that into consideration. Be the calm person when the police pull up. Don't be the person that can't control themselves. That's like screaming and yelling and all that type of stuff. I'm always gonna be that person. So I'm always gonna feel comfortable. And I think that's, you know, we should work on that.
Yeah, that is definitely true. The only thing that I will rebuttal with that is just down here, it gets a little, it gets a little profile-y, like, because honestly, in that particular situation that I just named, he was walking away. And just because they saw him walking away, it's like, yeah, we need to stop you and search you as well. And I'm like, I literally had to scream at the top of my lungs, no, it's not him. It's this person right here that I told you. Yes, he has a firearm, but his firearm is legal. He does work for security companies. He owns a security company. That's why he has a firearm.
Yeah.
You can check his registration. You can check his paperwork. Like, I had to vouch for that. And that's where I'm saying, like, that the woman can sometimes play that shit up where it gets to a point of like, that's why when it comes to women being involved in those situations, if it's girls and if it's women, I would rather check the situation, especially because a lot of times when they're looking at me, they're like, oh, just off of first glance, I'm smiling. I'm usually friendly when I'm having conversations with people. I'm short. So they don't see me as a threat versus when a 6'3", 200 something pound dad is coming at you about his child, you do see that as a threat. You're like 6'6". Like they gonna be like,
I'm okay with being profiled. It makes sense to profile me. I'm okay with that, right? But that's the thing.
But I'm just saying, I would rather you not go through that.
But it's cool. You can see a 6'4" black man walking away, and then when you stop me and you're like, "Hey, let's talk," I'm be like, "Oh, how you doing, sir?" I'm gonna shake your hand. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. They're gonna know I'm not. They're gonna know I'm not a dickhead once I shake their hand and I introduce myself and we have a conversation about what's going on. And you see that my paperwork for my firearm is legitimate. You see that I let you know that I have a firearm before you even get here. Before you even ask. I let you know that I have, and I let you know that I'm licensed, and I give it, and I said, ask you, do you want me to give it to you? I'm gonna do all of that, right? But a lot of people, they want to fight and they want to argue. Like that's the opposite. You want to make the police officers feel safe all the time. You want to make them feel like, okay, I'm talking to somebody who understands communication, who understands respect, and we have a respect level here. So yeah, I'm not afraid of those type of situations. I'm always going,
You know,
Two
it
things,
definitely
real
worked
quick.
in his
Can we
favor
get back on the
later.
topic? Can we get back on the
Hold on,
topic?
real quick, because you never answered the question that I asked you. If your son was getting jumped by a bunch of girls, what would happen then? And then
I
two,
did answer you, Willie.
no, you didn't say who would go outside, because that's all I want to know.
I said I would let him lead the situation. I would definitely like just be kind of like watching in the back to let. Yeah, no, I said that for sure.
So if it was your daughter getting jumped by a bunch of boys, who going outside then?
Then he's definitely still going outside. I'm not gonna lie. Like, yeah,
that's my point. It's like
it's just a girl on girl situation, is what I was saying.
That's not the point. See, that's the thing. To women, when they say that, it's only because it's another girl who's a combatant. That's the problem. Because when it was boys out there, you're not going outside to help your daughter. But if it's girls, you're going outside. If it's girls out there jumping your son, you're not going out.
In the back. I'm gonna let him handle it because
you are gonna do that when it's the girl. When it's a girl's jumping your daughter, you're not letting him take the lead. You want to go outside and do it. And then, even in your point where you're talking about the police interactions, you said if a big 6'3" guy is coming at the police, of course the police are going to treat that nigga like he's a combatant. That's what they're supposed to do. He's being combative. Regardless of whatever happened, like to Mont's point, you can't go talk to police crazy. You can't be aggressive with police and then expect them to handle you with kid gloves. And you do the exact same thing in that scenario that you said that a woman can do. She can play the victim. She can play like the less than. She can play the damsel by vouching for a police officer, vouching for say, no, I called the police on him. That police can't prove that in the moment. So if they listen to you, they're giving you the same benefit of the doubt they will give a woman playing a victim, because the police is supposed to get there and identify everyone that's involved. And if there's weapons involved, he has to identify those people and detain those people and unarm them. That's what's supposed to happen. But telling them like, oh no, he's not the one who was aggressive. They can't prove that. And if they listen to you, all they've done is proven your point about how women can play the victim and they can be the ones who are like, oh, it's not us.
I'm not saying that women don't have an advantage in that situation. That was actually my point.
That's not the point I'm making.
Have an advantage in the situation. So before I want to see you profiled or you go through that extra stress or trauma. Mind you, it wasn't that he was being aggressive. It was that in that situation, he walked away. He still had to be put in the handcuffs until they could verify the firearm and the paperwork and let it off. So my thing is before we even get to that point, right, where you're handcuffed and you're sitting there waiting to be verified and this and this and that, I want the privilege of vouching for you. Like, if I know what happened, I want the privilege of being able to be like, fuck that shit. I'm finna vouch for this person. So that's why I'm saying in that particular situation,
there's a bias.
If it's a bunch of women involved, I'm gonna be the one that comes off like, yeah, I'm gonna be the woman that's on your side. Because imagine being the dad in that situation with a bunch of women and none of the women are on your side.
Who gives a damn?
You definitely, but but that's what I'm saying. You just said the women have the advantage.
No, so I don't care about the advantage. The advantage was for your point. I don't give a shit about if I'm outside and my son is fighting another kid and the mom is the only one there and she's getting aggressive with me. I'll say, hey, where's your husband? If there's not one present, then bitch, it's me and you now. Because I'm not finna sit and let you get aggressive with me just because your son got his ass whipped for fucking with my son. There's never a time when I'm going to go back and get my son's mom to come be like, hey, you know, somebody's kid jumped their mom, but they don't have a dad. It's a mom. Can you come talk to her? Fuck no. That's not our problem. Because now if I come out there, that lady swings on my son's mother, I put her in danger. If the lady swings on me, it's me. I can take that and I'll handle it. But a man who lets a woman come out there and take his place when there is a potential for violence, that's not safe for him. And it's almost like he doesn't really respect his woman, because no man should be putting his woman in danger. And that's exactly what you do when you call your woman out there to deal with one of these hyena hoes, or hyenas, like Hink say. Like when you call your woman out there for somebody who's already on 10, you coming out the house wondering what's up. It's automatically putting you in a position where you have to defend yourself. That's not fair to you.
I can respect that point of view. I just know personally, I would definitely kind of rather handle the moms and the daughters. But that's just my personal opinion. I would definitely rather handle that than.
Do you think the dad, if he had picked his daughter or his son up from school that day, would have fought them kids back?
I think she should have fought the kids, but I think any parent should have fought the kids back, no matter the gender. I think both parents should have been trying to put belt to ass. Because the point of you going to pick the child up, literally, I feel like her point in going to pick the child up or changing the pickup spot that she said she gets her kids from, usually, she said she changed it, was to protect them. So if you knew you couldn't protect them because you're saying your reasoning was, oh, I have sickle cell, I'm sick, whatever, why would you go to the new pickup spot? Why didn't you send somebody else? My opinion is I don't have sickle cell. So if I go and pick those kids up, it's very well knowing that if I had to change the pickup spot, it's detrimental enough that it might get physical, and I'm well enough to go to the new pickup spot and protect them. That's all I'm saying. Both parents have a responsibility to protect children, because I'll be damned. Y'all give the seed, but we sow the seed. So if we spent 9 months protecting a baby in our womb, I'll be damned if I give birth to it and then just act like I ain't got to protect it no more. I'm going to protect it just as hard as you protect it, because we went 50-50 on them kids.
All right. Scano, you there? All right, probably on the phone call. Let me play this clip of one of the attackers with their mother.
Hey, my name is Kamira Grant, and I was wrong for everything.
It's okay,
I was wrong for everything that I did, and I was just being a follower, following everybody who don't even got nothing that I got. And I apologize for everything, because I wouldn't want to be in that situation, and I feel bad because
it's okay.
I gotta go through so much. Like,
that was a part of the.
I wish I would never did what I did.
The children that was a part of the fight at Kamira. She is one of the children that was a part of the fight at OT Bright School. Do you have anything to say? I think her name is Shauna.
I was a bit. People think.
Oh, puppy.
Children that was in that video was children. Some of them, not all of them, may have families, but this baby here, she has a family that cares, that loves her, that has held her accountable. She understands what is going on, and I don't expect her to speak. We do not expect her to speak as we are going to speak, because she's a child. What grade are you in, Kamira?
8th.
She's in 8th grade. What grades do you get?
A's and B's, and I was homecoming queen. I'm the captain of the cheerleading team.
And you know that.
And I know I'm a better person than what I was yesterday.
Kamira.
I tell you one thing, her mother did teach her how to turn it off and turn on that goddamn faucet of goddamn tears. She started talking about herself. Them tears dried that fuck up. I get A's and B's. I'm the captain of the cheerleading. You little bastard. You need to be expelled. You need to be finding another institution to get your middle school paperwork from. Transcript should say she had to transfer because she no longer represents this school and represent anything about this goddamn school. Yeah, she needs to go to a school where there are troubled kids at with the rest of them little motherfuckers. That's where she should be at right now. But the fact that she's putting this shit on social media, ma'am, you ain't shit either. Now, I remember the back of the days. I got trouble for stealing LL Bean backpack out of somebody's locker room, out of locker. You know what they made me do? I had to write an apology letter, and I had to hand it to the kid that I stole his backpack from. That's what I had to do. We didn't. Now, of course, we didn't have social media back then. But what we didn't do is put it in a local school newspaper, nothing like that, because that was our form of social media. We didn't do that shit for me. I had to write a letter. I got suspended for 3 days, and I suffered my consequences. But this shit here, all this crying and boo-hooing, she didn't mean shit she said. She mad because she got caught. So again, they ought to press charges. I hope that woman press charges to every last one of them little bastards. I hope they expel every last one of them little bastards. I don't care. If they have to go to school 10, 20 miles away, if that's the case, you got to suffer the consequences of your actions. Yes, I know you're a young girl. Yes, I know you're in 8th grade, but there's still consequences. We can't allow them to bypass, because guess what? You got to have a precedent. And if you don't do this, you're going to teach them, okay, I could just shed some tears, give me an apology letter on social media, and everything going to be all right. I'll still be able to cheerlead. I'll still be able to attend my school. I still get to look at that little boy that we jumped in, and a mother and maybe the sister, and probably tease him every day we see him in a hallway. Hell no. Hell no. Put them, every last one of them little bastards out of that school. That's what I would do if I was them parents of their kids that got jumped. Yes, I would.
Go ahead, boy. You had something to say?
See, this.
Oh, hold on, Bo. Hold on. Let me just get Scandal in there real quick because I know she ain't spoke.
Okay.
Go ahead, Scandal. How you feeling about everything? I'm not sure if you saw the previous clip of the child that was speaking. She was one of the attackers. The whole scandal. How you feeling about it?
I don't know if she can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Scandal.
Oh, you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, the pedicure sandal.
Oh,
Sandal. Yeah.
My bad.
Okay, so repeat it. I'm sorry. Can you repeat it?
No, I was just trying to see how you feel about the whole Chicago mother attack.
Well, I don't have kids, but we
can barely hear you. You gotta get closer to your mic.
Okay. What's up? I don't have kids, but can y'all hear me?
Yep.
I don't have kids, but we got into a lot of stuff going to school at Julian, and honestly, we had to click up in order to be safe going there. A lot of stuff going on in the public schools that people just don't even understand. So I think that people just need to monitor their kids a little more. But I know that a lot of them are single mothers, just like mine was. It's the same situation that we're just repeating history. It's just going to keep being the same things. I mean, if we don't change who we lay down with and who we, these are important parts of our life. These aren't just, I'm just having a kid, just have a kid. No, you need to be making sure that this person is going to be vital in your kid's life and in your life to be able to, these things not to happen. Even if you don't have a great father figure in the life, we had uncles and other role models. But see, even now, you can't even talk to kids no more. Our whole block would get us. We would get in trouble if a neighbor or something like that seen us do something wrong. Like, we don't even have that anymore, where you're getting looked after on the block. Everybody, if you say something to somebody else's kid, you're probably going to get into it with the mother. So everybody kind of minds their business now. But when we grew up, it was a village. Everybody took care of each other. And if if you got in trouble, somebody else would step in. It didn't have to be just the mother or the father or uncle or something like that. And we don't have that dynamic anymore. So it's even more crazier. Look at social media. People are not paying attention to their kids' phones. And, it's just a little worse now than it was in the beginning, but we're all still doing the same things. We were still, ditching school, and we always found a way to be rebellious, because that's just, we had metal detectors and stuff, like when some people would come in with guns. You don't understand what you're exposed to in public school. Like, I had a very near friend of mine that passed away in school, and after she passed away, they put up like hateful stuff in the bathroom. You don't understand how being in public school systems, and I would say it's basically poverty. Honestly, it's like poverty, because that's not happening in private schools. They're kind of it's way different. You don't really. I just think that a lot of people need to be adults. I think that they should stop having kids as accessories. I feel like, and understand the important part of the roles that they, because if I didn't grow up like that on that block, and I was like from maybe the low end, or where it was kind of like wild, I probably would have engaged in that too, because we were kind of wild as well. But I knew, I'm gonna get in trouble, or mom gonna say something, or so and so gonna find out. That would be in the back of my head. They don't have that. So, but you're exposed to a lot, a whole lot, like molestation. It's a lot of stuff that a lot of kids hide and don't even tell their peers or anyone until they get older and they go through therapy or whatever else. A lot of people hide a lot of stuff. A lot of kids went through a lot of stuff in public school that I'm really recognizing now as I got older. Like, they didn't have nobody to talk to. There were no sinners. There were no people to open up to. You had to act gangster. You had to be tough. So, but yeah, if when it comes to that situation, it's very hurtful. But it's the same thing. It's just what was his name, Darion? With him getting killed. It's the same thing. We've watched our peers get murdered. We watched our peers, like, when you go to public schools, it just seems like that's just the way of life, honestly. And people just have to take their parenting roles more important, and they're not. And I don't think they ever are, because they're too built into facades and, listening to Sexy Red and, trying to be something they're not. They don't have minds of their own. I didn't get into much trouble. I got into trouble, but I didn't get into much because I had a structure around me. My grandfather and my mom, them being from Mississippi and, being on me the way they was. So it was just a tad bit different, but it was still, you got to fend for yourself.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
But you had your hand raised?
Yeah. So this is so I think that people are going to miss an opportunity when things like this happen to change the children. This whole act that that was happening in this video, all of the boohooing and crying, we all too often take these simple, predictable apologies from children who have done something as egregious as that. Like, there is absolutely zero words that she could have said that could make up for what she did. Also, we have to understand, if that child is not sorry that she did it, she's sorry that she got caught. She's sorry because she's embarrassed, because people know who she is, because there's a video of her face out there and people know that she did that. That's what she's sorry about. And the mother defending it like she's a child, she's not going to say the things that we say. No, but you're also not doing it any justice by letting her skate by with some tears. That mother needs to put her child, if you gonna put on the internet, you need to put on the internet with the parent that she assaulted. and you need to let her explain in detail what was going through her head, why she did it, why she thought it was okay to do it, how she felt while she did it, because you are going to tell that lady that you enjoyed doing it because she did. They ha and he and making fun and all that. You're going to say these things. And if you allow your child, not allow, if you make your child voice all of those honest feelings out loud in front of the person that they assaulted, it has a chance of making a better difference than, I'm sorry, I make A's and I'm the cheerleading captain and don't nobody give a fuck about that. That was the dumbest thing that she could have done. She could have kept it, because if it was me, those words wouldn't have meant nothing. Not a thing. If it was me she assaulted, baby girl, you still going to jail. I am going to press charges. I don't
Yeah.
care if you are 16 or however old they are. You finna go to jail, because I'm gonna send all of y'all there. But yeah, we have to stop letting our children get away with these half-ass, shallow-ass apologies, and truly let them explain their actions and how they were feeling at the time. Honestly, because she enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah. I don't
If you watch the entire apology video, you'll see who the problem is. It's her mom. The mom is that little girl is her mother's daughter. Like the fact that she was in the beginning of the video when we all saw on the show, she was like, "It's okay, just come talk." Like you watch the entire video, you see that mom is just as trash as her daughter is. Like, and when you don't hold kids accountable and put them in situations where they feed hell to a fire, she's not gonna learn shit. Like you said, if that's the kind of kid that's homecoming queen at their school, it says a lot about the population of those children. If that's the kid who's the cheerleading captain, it tells you a lot about their school's priorities and again what those kids value or saying or what they support. And again, that mom's mentality is not much more developed or mature than that of her daughter, and she's the one raising that kid. So like, I hate how these situations highlight how inept a lot of black women are as mothers. But then the thing is, for the girl who had the girl who's got the boy who got beat up, and his father, his dad was there, like at the press conference with the mom, and you see him let the mom talk, and then he spoke him saying behind her. You see the difference in those kids. Like you see it online. That it's like you can see in real time the difference between two parent households where the dad is, is a masculine father figure in the home, and then a woman that's running amok. Like they need to press charges on that little girl. She gonna get 200-300 hours community service, but it needs to be documented that she's done this. Because if it's not, you don't hold consequences, man. Lessons not learned in blood are soon forgotten. And that little girl is likely to do this shit again. It ain't gonna be the last time she's peer pressure to do nothing. And if you don't do something to modify that behavior now, it's gonna continue.
Yeah. I think I don't I don't believe in like videos kind of like whooping your kids on camera, but I think that in this situation I would have whooped my son on camera. Like he did to that lady on camera. I'd have whooped my son on camera. Cause honestly for me, if you gotta show me that you like if I bring something to another parent, you gotta show me that you took care of it for me to, kind of call the dogs off. You gotta really show me you took care of it. So that's what I would do. Like I'm like, look, I'm whoop your ass on camera, just like you did to that lady. Whooping right on camera. It is what it is. And I would hope that, that would make the woman understand that how serious I am about my kids. And um when it comes to disciplining them and letting them understand the gravity of their actions. So that's my belief. Like, and the goal would be for her to, because that's what I would want to see. If a kid did something, if a kid do something to me, the only way that I'm not gonna whoop your ass if I know your parent gonna whoop your ass. If I know your parent gonna whoop your ass, I might let you go. All right, you put your hands on me. All right, I go tell your dad he gonna whoop your ass. But if I don't know your parents gonna whoop your ass, I'm not gonna be uh my soul ain't gonna be settled until I know that you're gonna really have repercussions for your actions. So
Can
Now
I
I do
say,
want to say, my bad. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's us being black, right, y'all? Like, you know, we always result to like the harshest, you know, answer to anything. Do you think sometimes we need more love though?
No, I think we need less. I think we loving in certain areas, but not right here. I think this is just a simple. This is very simple. Um, it's certain scenarios where you need to love your kids more. I'm extremely affectionate with my kids. However, there are certain times where they're going to need their ass whooped in their life, and those times I'm not going to not whoop their ass. You're going to get what you deserve every point in life, and it's going to be based on your decisions. And you're going to understand that every decision that you make has consequences, and that you get to shape your future based on every decision that you do make. And I think that if more kids got their ass whooped when it's necessary, the world will be a better place. I think the problem is you got some parents who whoop their kids' ass too much and don't teach them and don't talk to them, and then you got the other parents who let their kids go. Like this mom, like, oh, she's a kid. That girl understands a lot more than you give her credit for. My kids understand a lot more than I give them credit for, and I had to learn that. My oldest is 7, but they're much more smarter than they're much smarter than we think they are, and they understand much more concepts than we think that they can understand. So.
Now, if I could say,
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Hank, because you hardly talk. You good?
Okay. So I just think y'all gotta realize some of y'all kids are bad. I know you think little Johnny don't do nothing wrong because he acts like he got some sense when he's at home with you. But when your son gets outside the house, little Johnny acts a goddamn fool. Johnny's a menace. Johnny don't know how to carry himself. He don't know how to act. And unfortunately, a lot of people have to deal with little Johnny. It's just unfortunate that most parents think their kids are innocent. They don't do anything. Well, no, he ain't never did. Okay, ma'am, you might be right. You've never seen him do it. You never see him act that way. You never see him carry on and respond like it. Doesn't mean the teachers haven't seen it. Other kids haven't seen it. Because Johnny knows if he doesn't act right, you're going to correct him in whatever means you feel, whether it's corporal or punishment or taking some of his privilege away. But little Johnny's out here acting a goddamn fool. And so I said this story before. I was in the store watching this little boy in this basket whooping his mom's ass. Now, I not mean literally putting hands on her, but he was acting a fool, doing what he wanted, taking stuff out of the basket, throwing it down, throwing it out of the basket. I said, hey, little buddy, I said, that's your mother. Don't disrespect. This woman got mad at me. She said, don't say nothing to my son. You not his father. I said, you right, ma'am. I walked away, and I'm thinking to myself, I hope this boy whoops her ass the rest of her time at the store. I was praying for him to act a goddamn fool. I was hoping, so maybe you could see me as a black man trying to help you out here by yourself. I don't know if you had a husband or not. I don't know. But I did see you was in a need, and I tried to help you. But a lot of parents don't want you to say nothing to their kids. Even if you're trying to help them, don't say nothing to my kids. Don't do nothing to my kids. What are you talking to my kids? What are you, some kind of creep? No, that's not the case. You just see a need, you try to help. They don't want to do it. I was a coach for football for a long time. They get mad if you start yelling at the kids or make them do some type of exercise in order to serve their punishment. Why? Because you feel like they picking on your kid or you being too harsh on the kid. No, ma'am. It is what it is. You want a young little dick sucker. That's what you want. And I'm trying to help yourself from being that. But if that's what you want, keep on doing what you do, man.
Hank, you're not lying. I see the same shit coaching. I have parents who get mad when we yell at a kid for touching other kids and not paying attention in drills. But what I've learned, though, it's always the kids that's like the parents of the kids that are sorry. Like the good kids, we typically don't have too many issues with them. But the ones who's like a distraction, they parents, you can tell where they get it from. Because like you at football practice, you talking out of line, we make you run, and then you come to me as a parent like, why do you have my son running right now? Like that's why I'm an assistant coach. I can't be a head coach because I got to answer that question professionally. As an assistant, I can say the little motherfucker wasn't doing what he was told to do. Like he missing the games, he missing blocks, he missing practices. So we see why now. I identified what the deficiency was, and I'm correcting it with discipline in the form of cardio. Like if y'all helped us, then we wouldn't have to have his ass out here running. And it's so sad that a man trying to discipline a child seems like it's a bad thing to so many mothers. Like, but again, this is what happened with these kids. You say we need more love. No, we need more consequences. These kids need to experience consequences significantly more than they do, and their mothers don't. Their mothers shelter them from consequences. They don't enforce them. And once kids start having to deal with the consequences of their actions, they'll stop acting like this.
Yeah. Do people still do boot camp? Like send their kids to boot camp? Do they do that anymore?
The boot camp that I've been hearing about is the military.
Huh?
The boot camp I've been hearing about is the military. I mean, they possibly may have something. I think they had like Lincoln Challenge. That might have been like a boot camp.
Well, I know they still like that, like in high school, they still have ROTC and stuff like that. So
Right, exactly. Yeah. Like when the males would be too bad, send them off to that. When I was
Well, the kids are smart these days. Like even when I was in, you can pretty much as a kid, you can pretty much tell like, oh, okay, I understand that like the law doesn't allow them to do certain things, so they can yell at me to a certain degree in my face, but I understand how far they can take it. And I think I don't like the laws. You should be able to put your hands on kids. This is what I believe. That's what we need.
You can. It's not no law says you can't spank your kids.
Maybe it's not the law. I'm not sure if it's the laws or if it's just the programs because they don't want to get sued or whatever it is. But they I know they like to taper it back.
Are you talking about the school disciplining them or the parents?
Other adults, not the parents, other adults. Like I feel like it should be somebody in the school that can grip your son up when he acting crazy, grab him by the collar, like slam him on the locker, like yo, cut that shit out. I don't know. That's what I think.
I do want to play a little bit of what Mayor Johnson had to say in Chicago. What up, real?
Chicago mom. 33-year-old Korshonda Hatter and her 2 children were attacked by students in the South Deering neighborhood near Orville Bright School.
We want to make sure that those individuals who are involved in this brutal attack, that there is accountability. But there's also something very disturbing about children carrying out such a violent act. There's clearly a need for some intervention there as well.
It was here Monday afternoon near 106th and South Bensley. A normal walk from home turned chaotic. At one point, Hatter and her kid ended up on the ground.
They were literally waiting just to jump all of us. So I asked my kids to come to the next. They fought my son and hit my son first.
I think we saw all of that. I just wanted to kind of get what Mayor had to really say. Rilla, I know you got boots on the ground. You there, Rilla? I'll come back to him.
Is the mom coherent? I
Yeah, she is. She's sick.
She might be concussed. She was getting hit upside the head by a bunch of kids.
Yeah. Rilla, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, I saw the title and pulled up.
Yeah, I kind of figured this was gonna summon you. It was intentional. I said, damn, he's probably been up here by now.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I think what we see with these shorties, right? Well, let me say this. Y'all had some questions about the sister. What are y'all asking about the sister? What's the question?
You said the sister?
The woman that got jumped on. I thought I heard my bad. I thought I heard a question around the mom that got jumped.
I don't think it was a question. I think it was a lot more support for her.
Yeah.
I thought it said something like is she coherent? I think Sandals was asking that question.
Right. So from what I understand right now, the community has enveloped her, right? And they have raised money to move her out of that community because you would need to do that, right? And this happened on the 17th, JR. I don't know if you can confirm that, but I think this happened on the 17th. And so this woman had been reporting her seed being harassed and bullied for 3 years or whatever. And I know people will point fingers at school and this, that, and the third, woo. And then we do the whole, blame the parents. And we, when it comes to these situations, we know what it is, man. Right? So the whole, where the daddies at? We know the daddies ain't there. Right? Well, with the girl who threw the first punch, well, her mom's made a post and made her apologize and all this other stuff, and the whole thing came out. Oh, she's captain of the cheerleader squad. Captain of the cheerleader squad? Like, this is the behavior? Oh, she got A's and B's. She got A's and B's? And this is the behavior. Like, y'all seen it. JR, you played the whole thing. They was walking up to her, Joe face looking ass and all that other, like, yeah. This is what I see is on, and I think this is what boils down to when we be on that whole, community, right? Not my kids. It's not my problem, right? It's not my problem. Them your kids. Them. That's y'all and y'all until it affects me and mine. You understand what I'm saying? And so, yeah, man. From what I understand so far, people have rallied around the sister. And they got her car. They got her. Now, none of this verified on my end, JR. So, but this is what I'm hearing. Boots on the ground so far. They got her car. They moved her up out of that situation. Her kids are relocated to a new school. But I do know they are holding that school, Bright Elementary. They're holding them accountable, and they're looking for repercussions for those students.
Now, do you think the kids should be charged, really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Listen, man, we got to move out of this whole, well, they were just baby, because I rock with Inglewood. I don't know if you went over, I don't know. I rock with some of the people here that are saying, oh, they just kids. I hear y'all, but these shorties not getting it. And what we living with is the results of when we say community and that's not my problem. And, black mothers and single mothers, this and this, that, and the third. Meanwhile, we run around piping these holes and all this stuff. This is what we end up dealing with. Shout out to Hink. I know a couple of y'all other brothers, Dope Daddy and being, I know y'all brothers are raising y'all seeds right and doing what y'all need to do, but we have these conversations all the time, but like what happened with baby, like that's what's really happening. We don't have the luxuries to sit from our suites and say, like for me, I'm saying me specifically, I don't have the luxury to sit from my joint and say, oh, that's just what's happening over there with them. That shit affects all of us, fam. Yeah, them kids need to be charged. There needs to be harsh punishment. And I also said it needs to be 100 fathers down there at that school with belt in hand. Belt in hand. Because the mother, one of them kids got up there and said, y'all don't know me and mine, and I teach her, and the woo-woo, all the whole black woman, like, fam, what the fuck? Our babies. Tupac said, I know y'all, some people say rap is entertainment, right? But Tupac literally said, and if we don't, we'll have a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies. They jumped a pregnant woman, fam, with no remorse.
She was pregnant. I didn't know that.
Jumped a pregnant woman with her 2 C's. Tupac said, if we don't, we have a race of the babies that hate the ladies that make the babies. We are literally living in that time. I've said that on this platform a couple times, right? I get dismissed, whatever. But we are literally living in that time. So what are we going to do? Do we keep pointing the fingers at the women and saying, oh, y'all women are the problem? Or do at some point we say, because I'm with him, heifers, wench, all that. Right? I'm with that. But at some point, do we say, okay, fam, enough's enough? I'm on mute, JR.
Hey, if it was ever a time to play lock his ass up, that's when you're supposed to do it. But to your point, really, I've you've seen, we've had several conversations
Lock
about my
his
take on
ass up.
Chicago. But one of the things that I think is that I agree with you. I don't think it's going to do as much to keep saying we know the moms are trash. Moms make the worst kids, whatever. We have to do something to change the system that defaults to the mom being the parent. That would be the only way, and the most efficient way to change this issue. Because again, if one of the things that I think is pretty cool about like the things I advocate about is I'm a father's rights advocate. And something that I've seen has been working in courts with the people who we're working with is when they go into the court and explain to the court like how the statistics on what happens with single mother households as compared to single father households. And when they also have the burden of proofs being a preponderance of the evidence and information presented, it works in the father's favor almost every time. Because now if once you give the judge that information and say, well, hey, if you send my kid to the mom in this city that we live in, this, and this is likely what will happen. That judge is now responsible and has to take that into his consideration. It's not just about what the standards are now. And seeing that tactic is working, it's something that I hope that more fathers do. Like I've done it personally, so I'm not speaking from just somebody else's. I've also done it. I started it, and now that other people are doing it, it works. It just means that the dads are going to have to go and do the due diligence and do the research and legwork, to make that argument. But a lot of us don't. A lot of guys, when they have these situations where they lose custody of their kids, they just let the shit happen. Like, I pay my child support. I'll see my kid the 6 weeks in the summer, every other holiday, and 1 weekend in a month, and because they don't want to fight this shit, and because they feel like I shouldn't have to fight, and that's unfortunate. But if we start getting men where they will actually, take the initiative to try to affect change outside of in the system that creates these kids and these single mother households, I think that's the only way we can do it.
Chill, Will, you a millennial, right?
I'm 83. Yeah, I think so.
Think millennial.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, I'm telling these young bloods, be judicious about where you put your penis. Period.
Facts.
Like, select that woman. Stop going for the fat ass. BBD told us, right? So again, we dismissed the songs, but the songs was telling you the whole time. Don't trust a big butt and a smile, right? But that's what we tend to lean to, regardless, right? So I'm with you, because I've been in this space and I've been asking, like, okay, what are we doing as a collective of men to affect change? So I'm with you on that demonstration. I really am. But now for me, because of my kids are grown, but I'm still involved, and so when I'm dealing with the young bloods, I'm more or less aligned with be specific about who you choose to do whatever with. And I'm still on abstinence, man. Don't even touch it, fam. That's gonna be there for you. That's gonna be there for you. Don't hey, build yourself up, get your bread, get your educate, whatever you gotta do, fam. But create family intentionally. Go ahead.
Hold on. I do want to get 1970 in there real quick because he just got on the panel. What you got, 1970? Can't hear you, sir. No, it's just straight silence. So something is not connected. All right.
Oh, Rilla, I'm not gonna say I disagree with you, but I'm all about giving the advice that people will listen to, and telling boys to stay away from the women with the fat asses. I don't know how productive that would be, or like, yo, don't have sex with a woman unless you plan on making her the mother of your kids or something. I don't know how productive that is versus yo, always use condoms. Always use condoms. And beyond that, like, understand the difference between the type of woman that you bust down and the type of woman that you actually plan a family with. And also, like, be balanced. You don't have to like go and get married at 18 and and call it a day. But at the same time, don't be so worried about women. I think that there's a balance there that like kids will actually listen to. Because I fear if we tell them stay away from the women with the fat asses and the pretty faces and straight just go and be a family man from the rip, I don't know if they'll actually listen to that. I think they'll probably be like, "Yo, man, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna just go and do the opposite." So, what you think about that?
That's not what he said, though, G.
I think you're thinking for them, right? I think you're thinking for them, and I think well, let me just say this. I'm just saying in real time, because I'm on this tear right now. Because I think we think all black men and all black communities got to be aligned. Some of y'all in Dallas, some of y'all in LA, some of y'all on West Coast, some of y'all in Midwest. I'm telling you, I'm concerned about Roseland. I'm talking about Southside Chicago, Roseland. That's the only thing I could concentrate on. I can't concentrate on anything outside of Roseland. And as long as the boys that I talk to and the young bloods that I talk to inside of Roseland are willing to hear what I say, and not every one of them are hearing it. Not every one of them. I can't control them cats that's still gonna say, yo, I'm going off after the fatty and finna bust down whatever whoop-de-whoop. Yo, fam, I'm really, hey, yo, dope. I'm really trying to talk to the cats that want to hear what I'm saying. Because I've been there, done that. And I'm not trying to play Superman, put my cape on, fam. I can't. Right? So the young bloods that want to hear, and you know what we miss a lot of times, dope? We so busy focused on the cats that's acting up that we miss the young bloods that's doing everything straight to the T. We miss them. So they don't get none of our attention. They don't get none of our enforcement, or they don't get none of our celebration. That's why I like what Hink do with his son, right? I love what he do because he highlights, celebrate him, so on and so forth. And so, yeah, it's going to be some cats, some young bloods that's going to go out there and they going to bust them down or whatever. I can't control that. That's what they doing. But the cats that I am talking to, that I do have influence with, that are under my covering because I'm part of the village and they part of my community, them are the ones I'm responsible for, and them the only ones I'm concerned with, fam.
Well, love.
Go ahead, 1970.
All right, let's try this again. Can everybody hear me now?
Yes, sir.
All right, it's good. Hey, so first of all, shout out folks I've never met here before. JR, Bohink, there you go, Bougie, William F, Monte. Hey, talking about to my man Chicago. What's good? Council of OGs, represent. So I appreciate at least getting the time to come up here. But going back to, I guess, where all this stems around with the kids beating up the mother and the children, this is something that you see that is different today based on where we are as far as standards. So for those of us born for Generation X, born between 65 and 1980, there was a standard that came with us, which was men were respected, women were virtuous, and children did not speak until spoken to. Nod your head if you know what I'm talking about. All right, so this is that level of thing that we had growing up. We knew that if it was something we did at the street at 4:30 and Miss Jenkins saw, by the time 7 o'clock rolled around, we got home, mama knew about it. Now, these are things that we could report on back then, that we could put 10 toes down, that if we did something out of line, somebody knew about it. But again, that's the level of standards that we see that's lacking nowadays. We don't have this, we'll say community, we'll say it properly, community. We don't have this aspect of understanding that we don't make citizens anymore. But when you talk about the concept of citizens, it's a thing of blacks talking about, well, where are we as far as blacks? Where are we as far as united? We still are a diaspora. All right, black folks, we don't stand on our own. But when you see something like this, when we are jumping our own to include with her children, what's going on? What have we lost here as far as continuity? Now, can anyone think of a time where this type of behavior happened when we were kids, where you actually had children bold enough to jump an adult to include with their kids? You didn't see that. But that's what we're dealing with right now in this particular society. It's no longer what we grew up with, but it's what we've changed to. It's when we look at where we are right now. We are not the black folks that we were in 1965 or before that, where they had to go out and get rights, dogs, water hoses. We saw a narrative back there where folks stood with each other. Now we can't even have a black person from Africa who is still black, who is mistreated, stand next to us because we see them as immigrants. That's the problem that I see. But I'll go ahead and land my plane right there.
Yeah, I like that. Go ahead, Bo.
I definitely agree. Now, I am definitely the person that will call out when traditions should just go on ahead and die. But this is not one of those. There was something that our parents had that was right about that. That you get home and you do all of the mischievous things and you think your mama don't know because she at work, but as soon as she come home, she know exactly what happened. We need that. We need the women who would bend down in your face and give you a good old Claire Huxtable read real quick because she know that your mama would never put up with the things that you were doing. We need that level of people in your business still. Now the whole belt to ass thing, I think that there are far more creative ways we can parent better than teaching our children that assaulting them is the way to go. Because all too often we do not use words enough while we are putting belt to ass. So children don't know nothing but I don't want to get hit. And my mama would be the first to tell you, ain't no whooping gonna stop me from doing nothing. Not a one thing. So we do need to change that up a little bit. But there are a lot of things about the traditional parenting that Gen X went through that we could use right now because these parents are lazy. We are the millennials and some of the Gen Xers are parenting from a place of trauma. Like I didn't like this when I was a kid, so I ain't gonna do this to my child. Certain things are going to have to be done. There are certain things that your children are going to have to experience and go through that you are going to put them through for the sake of keeping them safe. That just has to happen. You didn't like it, but you are here right now today and you are well. And hopefully you ain't been to jail. We need to bring back some of those traditional parenting styles. And we do need to update it so that it is not rooted in like I'm not going to use my words. Do what I say because I told you so. No explanation, no guidance. Just do as I say. So, yeah, I agree with that.
Can I respond to that real quick?
Mhm.
I think that some millennials and even like some older Gen Z that are parents right now are very much so coming from a place, like Boheem said, of I didn't like this as a kid, so I'm not going to do it to them. There's also the aspect of I know that when I was like in my later teens, a lot of what I felt as a teenager was like the village only seems to exist when it's time to discipline. Like you would sometimes watch your mom not be able to go and get anybody else to babysit, or you could be in this type of village where the village doesn't want to help buy pampers, but the village wants to berate your child when it's time to like embarrass them or punish them. As well as in this day and age, I'm not going to lie to you, I I look at the fact of some of these teachers are the same girls that like wasn't you that girl that got caught in the bathroom doing X, Y, and Z? Like you weren't trusted to be able to teach the child this and this and that because I know who you were at 14 and 15, 16, 17. Sis, we went to school together. And that's how a lot of parents feel. So they're coming from that place of like, oh, I know what your teacher was. I know who your teacher is, or I know who homegirl down the street was or what she is. And that's where some of these children now are getting that energy from, where they may feel as though we don't need to respect so and so because my mama said, or, this and this and that. It's like the new adults aren't telling the kids to get out of the room when they're discussing that old school shit that was happening 10 years ago, right? So now your student that's in the 5th grade knows you used to be a bop back in the day. Or she doesn't respect her neighbor next door because she knows the neighbor's business, that, oh, she'd rather go and buy a bust down 30-inch instead of getting her kids food or this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of that going on as well. So, and of course, that's not to say that it's right, but I think like y'all are saying, traditionalism does end up being lost, because how do you want a child to respect you when that child is understanding enough to understand your business now, you know?
Got you. I want to let me know if I understand at least the first part of what you said. You said that you were saying that if a parent, if people want to help discipline the kid, they should also be willing to help do other things like provide pampers and babysitting, things like that. Is that what you're saying?
As far as like a family aspect, because what I have come across when I'm talking to other moms is that, of course, they're not going to feel comfortable with calling this a village and saying that you're going to be there to discipline, but you're never there for the good times, or let's say the hard times.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, I do think that that's a weird concept. It's a weird concept that you're there to fuss at a child or spank a child or whatever, but you're not there for when that child has graduation or AB honor roll, or when that child is missing a Christmas present or something. You're not there for anything else besides to yell at the kid.
Yeah.
It almost comes off as like some adults in the millennial and Gen Z generation are adulting in a sense of like, it happened to me and now it's my opportunity to be the big bad wolf, and so now I get the huff and puff.
Yeah.
And that's not coming from a place of I want the best for you. That's coming from a place of, because I got my ass beat, I want to beat some ass. Because I got cussed out, I want to cuss out. And that's genuinely where it sounds like some of these people are coming from. And that is what I personally feel like develops the lack of respect for some of these kids, because I will never say that children don't understand. Children can see that clearly. And I think that's what separates a shitty situation from a good one. Like a lot of us as parents will be like, our children clearly understand when they catch that space. Like right now as adults, we understand our parents were there for the good, the bad, the ugly. So we praise our mamas down, even though we got that whooping.
Yeah.
Versus, why is this person only present in my life when it's time to berate me or yell at me or this and this and that? So now it kind of starts to get to a point of, when that child no longer is smaller than you and doesn't have to fear you, they never respected you. So now that they don't fear you anymore, now is when you get the kid that's trying to hit you back. And that's just my logic.
Okay. So I'm just going to respond to the part that you said versus maybe the underlying, like where it comes from. I'm just responding to what you said. So I don't agree with the basic premise that you should have to do a bunch of other things in order to discipline the child too. Now, if you want to whoop a kid, then yeah, I don't want you to just randomly be whooping my kid, you know. But as far as like helping discipline and stuff like that, like we can agree that helping discipline a kid is help, right? I don't think that you should be demanding all types of help when somebody's offering you one type of help. Like, all right, you help me here. Why about you help me over here too? I don't think that, you know, like your kid who doesn't have a Christmas gift under the tree, that's your responsibility. That's your fault.
That's not what she was saying.
No, I'm that's what she said.
No,
maybe
that's not.
what she meant.
No. That's not what she said. So, well, that's definitely not what she meant.
Okay.
What I heard with what she said, what I heard her say is you can't just be a disciplinarian. Like, I'll use my nephew, for example. He complains that his father only shows up when it's time to yell and fuss at him, but he never tells him what he does right, that he did something good. He never gives him the love. So if you're only showing up in a kid's life to just reprimand, they're not going to respect you. They're going to be tired of you. So that's what she was saying. Like you have to be kind with your punishment as well. Like you have to say something affirming to that child to be effective.
Bo,
Yeah, I
but
agree.
isn't that kind of the mom's fault that she only calls the dad when she wants him to discipline him? Which is what happens to a lot of dads that are active but don't live in the home. It's if you don't do this, I'm gonna call your daddy. If you do that, I'm gonna call your dad. Or I'm gonna see you to your dad's house. Like the mom turns the father into like a bad thing. He's a boogeyman. Only time everything that kid associates with his father is discipline, strictness, punishment, no fun, being grounded, or getting a whooping. And that's what a lot of parents, that's what a lot of moms don't take into consideration when they treat their kids, when they do that with their children.
And hey, I know OG want to go in, but yo, sis, that is kind of what she said. Like, and that is the mentality of a lot of mothers today, right? Like, if you're not there to celebrate the good things, you don't have a right to discipline my child. Listen, I went to VV. Mr. McGee was not there to celebrate my birthdays. Mr. McGee was not there to cheer me on when I got all A's and 4 B's in 7th grade. But guess what? If I was out of line, I got my ass whooped before I left VV, motherfucking before I touched the block, and by the time I got home. And that's before my grandma pulled up. That's 4 ass whoopings. That's what these seeds are missing. And we live it. This is the thing that drives me crazy. Oh, JR. This is the thing that drives me crazy, right?
No, bro.
My God, just really quick. But this is the thing that drives me crazy. We are living with the reality. I came here and I said, what? If we don't, we'll have a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the babies. We living with that and we still make excuses. Right?
But don't we have the opportunity to literally change that? What you just said was that there were 4 people lined up for an ass whooping. I'm not saying it's anybody's responsibility, but it's almost like this. When you send out those invitations to that preschool graduation, why weren't those same people lined up for that preschool graduation? And that's all I'm asking. Why were you so excited to drive to somebody's house to whoop a child but not celebrate that child?
No, sis. We in a village. Those people were working, right? But because your child is my child, your child is my child, if they had opportunity, yeah, they'll show up. But here's the thing, because I think you're a millennial. She's not. She's Z. Oh, okay. And this is happening.
I don't know why y'all are saying that. I'm not Gen Z.
No.
You're not Gen Z?
I'm going to mute. I'm going mute.
She's a younger millennial. Okay.
I know. I'm going to mute really quick. This is what I'm saying, right? Because I challenge my generation. I'm Gen X. I'm 51. I'll be 52 in August. Right?
55.
Right? And so I'm saying this on us.
59.
That we see, man, get out of here, JR. JR, hey, shout out. Hey, my brother just celebrated his birthday too. Y'all, please.
Please happy belated.
Please send a super chat and a cash out for my brother JR.
Hey, Bo, real quick, Bo.
That made it out for the low end, man. Shout out to you, JR, for real.
Hey, really. Hey, Bougie, they did point out something. It's been a couple panels where you claim to be Gen Z.
I've always said I'm 29.
Because that was what my rebuttal was about to be. But then 2 people in the chat said it. So I know I'm not tripping.
I've always said I'm 29 years old.
I think you're a millennial though.
Gen Z started in 1997. I've always said I'm 29.
No, you're a millennial. I think I'm a millennial. I'm 93.
That's what I'm saying.
No, whoa. But you younger millennial. But what I'm saying is, you didn't.
You like on the cusp.
Go ahead, my bad, Beeman. Go ahead, Willie.
Yeah, like you on the cusp of being a Gen Z.
Yeah,
you like the last millennial.
I'm the very last year of millennial.
So that's why.
Correction. 1965 to 1980. I pushed it in the back check. That is Gen X. Gen Y, 1981 to 1996. That is Gen Y. 1997 to 2012, that is Gen Z. Just to be clear, if no one's familiar with that.
Yes.
So let's rearrange. So anyone born in 1970 and past, you are Gen Z.
So wait, am I goddamn millennial or Gen Y? Like,
Millennial is Gen Y.
Gen Y is millennial.
Yeah.
All right,
Gen Y is
so
millennial.
fucking alphabet. I get it.
Hey, Chill Will lost. I don't know what I am.
I'm looking at it too. I'm like, damn, like, Gen Y.
Just to make that clear, that's where a lot of the confusion comes in from, because again, we don't know where we are, and then because sometimes we don't know where we are, we don't know to where to associate what standards and behaviors came from. So that's pretty much how you look at it. You have to know where you are. But then again, also just to address one thing here, when we talk about the village or so, at the same time, there may be a village, but there's still the parents. All right. So regardless of what the village may have to say, it is the parents' fault if that child does not have a level of respect for either parent or anybody else, because that's where it starts with. From the time that child is created, whether the father is there or the father is not, let's get something straight. Whenever you have a baby mama, there's always a baby daddy. All right. So those are still two folks who are going to be responsible for this child, whether he's in the house or not. So therefore, if we say that, why is it that you only show up to discipline? Well, is it because you only call your father or call the father when you need discipline to be done? If the child is living with the mother, if the child is living with the father, you may not hear that. You may not hear it at all, because the father is supposed to be or will be the discipline. Let me take that back from supposed. Let me pull that back. The father is the discipline because he is there. But how often do you hear where if the father is not in the house, do you want me to call your daddy? So therefore, that's where you may get that association from. So let's not say, well, where were you when this? Okay, I may have been at work. I may have been with my child. But the question was, why didn't you do this when you were with your child? At the end of the day, the responsibility comes back to the parent.
I don't want anybody to get confused where this is the scenario that I'm personally thinking of in my head. I'm thinking of a 2-parent household. And all of us got black mamas. Black mamas gonna get on that phone, they gonna call aunties, grandmas, granddaddies, uncles, whoever, right? And the same way that they're gonna call and send out that invitation for graduation or birthday or whatever, it's the same way that they'll call and they'll vent about disciplinary issues. And I'm speaking from a standpoint of, I have watched, for instance, I had rest her soul now, a godmom. My godmother would be the type of person where when my mom's calling you to tell you about the birthday party, and my mom has told me this multiple times that she realized this once I grew up. When it was time to come to the birthday party or the graduation, my godmother was never, ever present. But somehow you have time to come on a lunch break to fuss at me about when you felt like I needed to be disciplined or talked to. That's what I'm saying is the difference. How do you make the time for one, but you're at work during that same time frame, but you won't make, this isn't important enough to make the time, but the discipline is important enough to
isolated, sis.
That sounds like your experience. That doesn't mean it's everybody.
People that have that same experience.
No, that's not the village. And furthermore, I would say this, and I gotta bounce. I would say this is in your generation, you and Willie and probably Dope too. Y'all put more emphasis on proms and gender reveals than actually what the kids when they get that report card, right? And so the village has been dismantled, and part of these conversations that we've been trying to have is restoring the village. And you can't just restore to the good feeling. Hey, like again, sis, respect. But like I said, hey, Mr. Bob, Mr. Barry, got doggone Mr. Wilson, I could call all them old jokers out that ain't show up for nothing that I did. 7th grade, I hold this grudge. 7th grade, I got all A's and 4 B's. Ain't none of them jokers celebrate me, fam. But guess what? If I was cutting up on 108th and Perry, hey, them jokes, I heard about it before I got home from school. That's just what it is. What we are really not willing to accept is that our OGs had the blueprint and we failed to build on that. Because I know Hink ain't on that corporal punishment. I know he not with that. I respect that. But you know what Hink also did? He built on that and he has the blueprint for all the rest of us knuckleheads to follow, right? And that's what I'm saying. When you go down to the millennials and the Z's, all y'all young bloods that's good enough to have babies now, y'all ain't building on that, man. Y'all really y'all gonna show off your kids for first day of school. Y'all gonna show me them Jordans. Y'all gonna show me them quarter zips, right? You ain't gonna show me though when he acting a fool and it brought something to the school that he ain't supposed to bring to the school. You ain't finna show me when your baby cussing out that teacher. Now you coming down there and don't nobody talk to my kid like that. Hey man, these teachers should be making 6 figures easy for what they got to deal with some parents. Easy.
You saying that, but you realize these teachers are my generation too, right?
I love you, boo. I'm sorry. I'm not directing that towards you. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you realize the teachers are my generation too. Like if you think the parents are bad, the teachers are also my generation.
No. And I understand what you're saying per se, but I'm telling you because I just went down there to feed some boys at my alma mater, and I got a teacher that's been down there for 25 years. That's not your generation. The principal that just got promoted, she been down there for 30 years. That's not your generation. But I do understand what you're saying. My point is we gotta get back to village. How do we do that?
The biggest difference between our generations is that Gen Y were drug dealers, Gen Z, and that's who was raising Gen Z. Gen Z is raising drug users. That's the difference. Gen Z is raising those kids you saw out there attacking those
millennials raised drug. Wait, you saying Gen X?
Millennials were raised by drug dealers. These Gen Zs were raised by drug users. That's the problem.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll take it from the music standpoint, right? When we were coming up, selling drugs was the thing in music. It wasn't using drugs. If you use drugs, you were a loser. If you use drugs, you were lame. Now everybody want to be a pill popping animal. They want to set. Being from Texas, everybody wants to sip all the other shit.
Was fake.
And that's the difference. Like when we were in millennials, when we were coming up, we were raised by hustlers. Guys who may have been outside doing whatever, but they were trying to provide for a family. Not saying drug dealing is okay. The problem is that now all those clients and customers who were using drugs that had kids produce kids who do shit like we saw in this video.
It doesn't take just the drugs to do that though, because back in my day, or not to sound like I'm a dinosaur or whatnot, but I'm your brother, I'm the ninja in the alley. All right, so drug dealing's been going on for ages.
That's what I said. That's what I said. I said, that's before me, but I know the song.
Yeah, like I said, you must have meant for So we're talking.
Drug dealing was what we saw as like okay. That's what was pushed to us.
But there was drug using also. Yeah, there was drug dealing and using.
Not at the rate that it is now. Because if you look at drug dealing movies, look at Boys in the Hood. The crackhead was seen as somebody that was crazy. Dog wasn't seen as crazy for selling them drugs.
Willie, if I may finish though, let me land my plane, bro. Now, what I'm trying to say here is that even though we had drug dealing that was going through the 70s and the 80s, in the 90s, when Rilla and I were young adults, you talking about movies again, loony like Old Dog. All right, that's when you really saw the drug scene popping off. New Jack City, the crack thing, things like that. You had folks who were selling in the 70s when I was a kid, and these folks were still selling throughout the 80s. But yes, they were showing their kids, if they were in that life, of how to deal that powder, how to put that out. And then remember Biggie talking about, they're giving me smoke. I was just trying to feed my daughter. Okay, yeah, I understand that you got to feed your daughter, but why are you going to poison your own community, right? Even though you're selling it, people still have a choice to either take it or to not take it. All right, there's still the choice there. But yes, what you see now is how the drugs became more, for lack of better expression, more fancified throughout the 90s. Yeah, because I've got that Old Dog, I got that G, I got that Kush, I got that purple. That became a thing where it was always a down by law type of thing. So when I look at the millennials and I look at the Gen Zs, the last thing I think of, what was that, sipping on some syrup or something like that, where people in there, they're making a thing out of it. Pardon?
Not too much on Memphis.
Yeah. So we'll keep that down. But yeah, but
I
that's
gotta
what
see.
I will give you.
She from, I get it. She from Orange Mound. I get it.
There is no argument about drug.
Yeah.
Was there drug dealing or selling
Yes,
drugs? That's
I
not what
would
I'm
say.
talking about.
I know
What
you're
I
not
am
talking about that. What I'm saying is that when you have folks who are coming from that background, then you're going to have folks who are still going to be selling, and yes, you're still going to have folks who are going to be using. But the thing is, are you saying that Gen Z is primarily put out with drug takers? Is that what you're saying because of
No,
their parents being? Is that what I just heard you say?
no,
That's what it seems like.
Yeah,
I'll
the
repeat
Gen
it for
Z's
you
the
clearly.
takers. They're
And the
not the
point that I
sellers.
was making is that using drugs is significantly more acceptable, like being a whore is in 2025. Using drugs wasn't acceptable in 1883 in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? It was still
Oh
kind
yeah.
of frowned on upon. It doesn't mean it wasn't there. But what I'm saying is this: that my generation, right? We were raised by hustlers and drug dealers. Like in my son's generation, those kids are being raised by the drug users that the drug dealers were selling drugs to.
Right.
Like so that crackhead from Boys in the Hood that was offering him saying the top buddy off in the alley for a cheeseburger has kids now. And that kid is looking at that parent who used to be that crackhead or that drug dealer. You brought up Biggie, even in the movie when the girl he wouldn't serve because she was pregnant. Buddy did. And then he saw her, years later when the kid had grown up and was doing good. That's my point. That it's so much more accepted today for people to do drugs than it was when I was coming up. Because again, if you smoke coke, not coke was always for rich people. That's cool. But if you were smoking crack, heroin, all that other stuff, you were corny. Like that was like you were cluck. Now motherfuckers is cool like shit. They want to put crack rocks and weed now, smoke it. They trying to make all these different other drugs and party drugs and shit like because it's cool. Like XC wasn't super popular back when we was a kid, and unless you talk about MDMA.
Oh hell, actually been possible, been on top shelf for some folks the last 60 years, man. What you think?
That's why you talk about MDMA.
I mean, about 30, 40
right.
years.
Before it was called ecstasy. Like it
was called ecstasy back then. In my day,
it was just MDMA, and saying the chemical structure was what it was then. It's different now because it's common. Like you can go to most clubs and get somebody to sell you an X pill inside the club for $20.
PCP and angel dust.
I think they've been drug users. They just kind of like it just been a little. It would maybe market it different. Like when you think about like the Quaaludes and how popular the Quaaludes was, and doing all that back then in the Cosby days. And what you say?
Quaaludes were a prescription drug that got banned after they found out how addicted they were.
I mean, that's the most popular drug today for at least for in our community is prescription drugs. It's the pop and the pills, the perks, and all that type of stuff. That's one of the go-tos is, the guys.
The biggest difference is as simple as saying back on the playground, if somebody says something like your mama smoked C or your mama a C head, that was offensive. Now your mama is literally on her Instagram story and on her TikTok talking about she popped perk and it's cool. Like like literally viral videos are like we all pop perks, like we all do, and I'm just like that. I think that is the point that Willie is trying to make. Like it wasn't a publicized thing where if you was a C head, you was a C head. But it wasn't like you was out here being necessarily like proud of it versus a lot of Gen Z and millennial. Well, not even, no, I can't even really say a lot of Gen Z is just straight up like we pop perks. We do that. It is what it is. Like it's cool if I'm in a section nodding off. No, it's not. It's not cool. Versus like in millennial days, it was cool if you was a drug dealer. That was maybe more so accepted. All right, he make paper, he gonna get it out the mud, he hustle. But it's not, it's literally okay if you just go in the bathroom and find a random stranger doing whatever drugs they doing. Ain't nobody gonna judge them. 9 times out of 10, if you go in the bathroom and you ask for it, they'll just straight up share it with you, and it's just a community thing at this point. Like that's what I think he's saying, and I do kind of see that because it's literally just like all the rappers is openly admitting I took the perk. I knew it wasn't a real perk. I knew it was a press perk from the dude house who didn't even pass 10th grade chemistry, and that's still cool with me. It's all right.
Yeah, I guess I'm just mindful to hold old people feet to the fire when they try to act like they shit don't stink, because they gonna do it. Our moms all listen. If you let your mom lie about your childhood, she will act like she didn't used to whoop your ass because she don't want to whoop the grandkids or nothing like that. She'll act like she ain't do a lot of shit. It's gonna wipe right away from her memory. A lot of these old women gonna act like they wasn't.
Hold up.
Yeah, a lot of these old women.
Hey, dope. That's why I don't even trip on y'all no more. When y'all be calling us out, I don't even trip. When I first got back to the crib, when I moved back 10 years ago, and them young bloods was like, and I, I'm a neutron, I'm an L7 beta simp, whole stud, all that. When them young bloods was talking about what they seen take place with, because y'all keep saying millennials. No, Gen X was the dope boys. Nino Brown was the Gen X dope boys that they really saw running through your mom's, piping her down and putting her back out there on the blade to get out the mud for him, right? So when I got back to the crib, they ain't want to hear nothing I was saying. I had to eat that. Them young blood, and I wore glasses all my life. Hey man, I'm a nerd. Y'all, they don't want to hear from me, fam. I had to eat that. I had to tone down and come to where they at. So you 1000% right.
Now check this out. How many folks remember Freaknik?
They don't. You talking to a different.
All right, so you're talking about now back in.
Yes, the fuck we do.
Yo, hey, look, Will, you was not there for no Freaknik.
No, I wasn't there. With my whole ass cousins was. Trust me, I know a lot about Freaknik.
Now, if I may,
he was there with them nasty helpers for Freaknik.
Now check this out.
Yeah.
The whole thing I bring Freaknik up because of the fact that you had women about 2 or 3 years ago freaking out because people had videotape. Now think about it. You got your mom up here talking about how you supposed to be, how you supposed to acting, and she's in the middle of the park with her whole ass out. Whole ass out.
I was
and
just on a panel with somebody's daughter that saw their mama on top of the car.
And these women were mad as hell when Luke was talking about releasing that because of the fact he said, let me show you how we got down in the 90s. But the thing was still, that's where the standards start to drop. And Chicago and I have done a couple shows on a value conversation, Gen X spoken word. Hence, this is why we wear the hats, the Council of OGs, old school gents with old school guidance. And we do this, at least we get together, we try and do it at least once a month. But on one of the shows, we talked about how you had old school behavior that was changing with the new. And around 88, 89, I've said this before, that's when you could see the change in society. You had things like, remember, Married with Children, where you see that whole family structure. Remember, you had Leave It to Beaver. You had Ozzie and Harriet. You had The Cosby Show. You had Different Strokes. You had these type of family functions. In 30 minutes, there was a problem that got solved and everybody walked away with a win. But then you started bringing on, again, stuff like Married with Children. The father's an idiot. They play him like a joke. They laugh at him, call him names direct to his face, chastise him. Beavis and Butthead, Cow and Chicken. 90210, you start seeing the decline right there. And all it takes is having anything on television long enough to where people will start emulating it. Remember, gotta get a roughneck. Next thing you know, everybody's walking around with has to say thug. But even before that, we're talking about going back to 88, 89. One day you're in the club listening to Fresh Prince. You're listening to maybe Chubb Rock. The next thing you know, here comes Easy. Here comes Easy. And now we've got Respect Yourself, or we got something from NWA taking over the club. We got the whole thing that is changing it. Public Enemy doing his damnedest to make sure that we're awareness of the black struggle, fight the power. But while you sat at the same time doing that, you got gangster rap, and you got other folks jumping up, changing the curriculum, folks. So yeah, I can see where we got to where we are right now, and take that what I'm saying when it entered into society down to where you got kids jumping a woman and her kids in school, in public, and don't think a damn thing about it.
Yeah. It's another thing the old heads like to do. Real quick. Another thing, I ain't gonna let the old heads get away with this. A lot of times they like to call like young niggas zesty.
I'm doing that though.
A lot of times they like to call young niggas zesty, but y'all be honest, what was his most zesty era in history?
Now,
25. 80s.
The 80s. There we go.
You talking 80s? Now, yeah, we're talking San Francisco.
Some album covers. I was like, oh my God, no.
Yeah, but you said the most.
Dope. Hey,
Trannies
dope.
wasn't
Change the whole
popular in
dynamic of this
1980.
goddamn conversation. I
Hey,
see.
dope. Y'all niggas
Yeah.
zesty right now, man.
Yeah, they a little zesty, but they ain't got nothing on the 80s though.
Bro, how we on here?
I got love for y'all today.
I was born in the 80s, but I gotta go with them on this one. Today, right now, trannies are like supposed to be, if you mean to a tranny, it's a bad thing.
What?
In the 80s, we could bully them. In the 80s, they weren't accepted, they were closeted. Like, and today they're celebrated and they have rights.
No,
and we're supposed to say and use the pronoun and change
I
the
believe the tone has changed in the conversation. You're for people.
But you will. To Dope's point, if you look at them out, he's right. If you look at them out,
they had on the ass out jeans and shit, and the chaps and
hey,
the
man,
long curly.
Hey, come on.
I'll take. Listen, but I would prefer that over this tranny shit any day.
Now. God damn, this is nasty work.
Did it? My bad.
Yo,
Sanders, you want to bring us back? You want to say a small prayer for us or something?
The pedicure, sandal.
What's going on? Huh?
You know, came in the house, burnt some sage, and just sat down and got quiet.
Hey, she might have fired up one of them left-hand cigarettes.
It's just me and my drink.
I know that's right.
What were you saying, JR?
I was just trying to figure out what your thoughts are, what you've been thinking over there. I know they've been having some dialogue here. I just want to make sure we don't leave you out. You want some input?
It's a lot. It's a lot because I mean I grew up around all of that. My sister and them, and you know the Wild Hunters picnic and Freaknik and all. I grew up around all that. So I mean,
tell us more.
Wait, you from the crib?
I'm from the hundreds. I went to Julian.
Oh shit, I'm on mute.
It's wrong with the finger.
So, I mean, I just think that, like I said before, I just think history repeats itself. That's it. I mean, as much as we try to talk, I feel like the men are not the same. We don't have any Fred Hamptons. We don't have any, and maybe we do, but I mean, I just believe that we don't have anybody that's on the front lines anymore. I don't think that we have men that's not afraid of the system. Everybody is yes, sir, yes, sir. I don't think that, you know, people are gonna get out here and actually do what they're supposed to do. Like, I think that's kind of died off. People like, man, I need my job and I got bills, and you know, that's the whole answer to everything. I feel like these days, you know, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to continue. We just all eye for an eye right now. You know, you just keep your pistol on you and hope for the best when you go out the house.
Hey, she giving y'all the crib perspective. She really is, right? But Sandal, when you say there are no more Fred Hamptons, and I promise you I'm finna get off because it's way past my bedtime. Old as fuck.
Come on.
What do you mean by that? There are no more Fred. What do you mean by there are no more Fred Hamptons? What do you mean by that? What was so
like everybody talking. No actions.
right? And so why do you think there are no more Fred Hampton? Because you got to point out what Fred Hampton did. That's why I was trying to get you to lean into.
And you're absolutely correct, because who wants to put themselves in that position? So you're right.
Right.
No. Right. You know,
as a black man, right? Who's gonna put themselves in a position to be the chairman of the Black Panther Party for Illinois and accomplish all those things before 21, including starting the free food program, which our government would co-opt after they assassinate. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then the people still not support, right?
But do you believe that you and I have a better life from those leaders?
That's why I'm 10 toes down every day. That's why I'm in the hundred still to this day. That's why I'm in Roseland to this day. Right.
I'm opening a non-for-profit right now too for women only, because I feel like there's no men. It's more single women, and there's no men that's supportive anymore. So I'm building that with my own money to make sure that they can get in higher positions to be able to get in these spaces to help us. Not any Uncle Toms that's ready to, bootlick, but people that's actually like, no, we got to do this thing a little more differently than maybe fighting in the streets and marching. We have to make sure that we get in there, maybe one or two of us, and make sure that we're for the Black community.
When you write your charter, make sure you say that you focus and specialize with women, and not just say that it's for women only. Just some free advice. Don't put that in your charter.
Sandra, it sound like you want to be the leader. That's what it sounds like.
Who, me?
That's what it sounds like. You want to be the leader.
I mean, somebody has to be the leader.
Yes, what up, boy?
I'm a leader, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it where it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
Yeah.
If you see that, like we said before, people getting assassinated and such things happening. Clearly, if you let it be known what you're doing, they're going to try to stop it.
Hey, sis, let me tell you one thing, and I gotta go for real. Sis, it's a lot of good in Chicago. There's a lot of good nonprofits, charities that are already doing the work. If I'm you, I would see where I can align to support the work that's already being done, right? Because everybody got their own idea about how to make this thing better. And most of the time when we do the research, there are people that are already boots on the ground doing the work. But hey, man, I love y'all. Hey, y'all, please hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe. Send my nigga $5 on, you know what I'm saying, on the Cash App. Send him $5 super chat. Celebrate that nigga. You see him sipping nice from that cup right now. Make him pour some more, man. Every time y'all pour, send a super chat, make JR sip. Every time y'all send a super chat, make JR sip for his birthday, man. I love y'all. I'll holler at y'all in a minute. Peace, family.
How about we make him sip based on the dollar amount? For every $2 you take a pull, I'm out $100 right now.
Hey, Viz, you've been gone so long, bro. I thought you got a girlfriend or some shit.
He got the Forbes shirt. He came back getting money. But go ahead, Viz. We can't hear you.
I hear you, man.
He's cutting dreads off. Went got some waves and said, you know what? I'm gonna go find me an old lady real quick and then come back to these panels.
No, man, been on grind mode.
I bet. I'm that's what they call it. What the heard they call it now, grinding.
But it's so weird. Don't be afraid of the grind.
Sandra, you still here?
I got a phone call.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Do you know why I just said that?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. The reason I just said that is because I kind of sometimes what I hear from women is this thing. I remember like when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, and you had half of the men saying that was inappropriate, then you got the women saying he had to do it, he should have did it. He's finally somebody protecting a woman. A lot of times women like to criticize the way that men handle things, and to me that's them trying to be the leader. So for example, if there was leaders in the Black community and they're like, yo, no, we're going to handle it this way, we're going to go about it in a diplomatic manner or whatever, it's going to be women who like, oh, y'all niggas is pussies, yo. Why y'all pop off on these niggas? Like, it's going to be a lot of women who got that energy, and I think that is and I'm not saying this is you, I'm throwing it out there just in case it might be your position. A lot of women, they want to get physical and they want to handle shit the way that they think things should be handled, and they want you to be the crash dummy for it. So that's the reason that I kind of like asked that question. Like, it sounded like you wanted to be the leader.
Okay, my phone is acting crazy. So all I heard was, can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I was just making a point that
short form version.
Yeah, got you. I was just making a point that I think that women oftentimes want men to be crash dummies instead of actually being leaders. A lot of times, if a man determines like, hey, we're going to go about this in a non-physical manner, that should be the decision that he going about it. And it's a lot of women who will look at them like, yo, you a pussy. No, we should be you bootlicking, you doing this, that, and the third, like going running that nigga shit. versus, you being the man and determining that the best route is to go about it in this manner. There's a lot of women who won't respect that because they want to be the leader, but they don't got the physical strength. So they want to use your physical strength while they lead, if that makes sense.
Right. You're right about that, because I feel like you guys do have to get that energy. I think that you guys think of fighting in a way of like actually physically fighting. You don't have to fight that way. I don't believe you have to fight that way. I feel like there's a different way that you can fight. You can fight the system. I'm not against anything on this earth if it makes you better. I don't treat people that have substance abuse problems differently than I treat a person that's rich. I've sat down with multimillionaires. I've sat down, I sit and I talk to people that have had, all kind of things happen to them. I treat everybody as a human because everybody has their own story of what they've been through in life and why they are at the point where they're at. I just believe as a Black community, we have no support system. We don't. It's all gone now. We're the only race that have no resources. We're the only race that, we're more so, we're just consumers. That's it. And we're just products of social media and music influences us, TV influences us. We don't have any role models. And I believe that whatever that you have going on, it's a way to do it to be able to get where you need to be. But long as you get to where you be and just grab somebody else to help, we just working and paying bills. I feel like nobody, and even when someone does get to the top that looks like us, they don't bring us up. It's more so we shit on each other. I got money and you don't. And then majority of the time when they do get money, like my cousin, he got drafted into the Chicago Bears. And like he said, most of them around us have foreign women. So we don't see no Black women. So of course we're going to date, these other races, but they don't look like your sister or your aunt or your mother or any. Why are you taking your hard-earned? You worked hard to get here. It wasn't easy. You have to work out. You have to make sure you ate right. Why would you take all of that and give it to us? If the roles were reversed, that wouldn't be going on with you. You think that she would do that for you? Or matter of fact, their race, do you think that they would do that for you? No, they wouldn't.
Nope.
We're very, very brainwashed.
If I can, you said that you sat with that you sit or know millionaires. So if you know millionaires, then you know that there's plenty of men that's under the act of what one would deem as Hammond. There's a different way to go about it now, right? We as Black people, we can't even agree on most shit, right? So let alone for someone to be willing to risk their life in that same manner. I think that wouldn't make sense to someone a rational person, right?
I think you made it so far we don't have to risk our lives, though. Do you think that we have to risk our life? It's too the things that they were doing back in the day to us. They still doing them, but they're not as much because
right. But that's my point though. So the people that feel like nobody is doing anything are the radicalists. There's plenty of Black people doing things. There's plenty of programs out there that a Black person would bring you up. The problem is motherfuckers don't support them.
That could be true.
They'll rather support the rapper.
Yeah.
They'll rather support, like Willie was talking about, the pill poppers. They're outside in Chicago. You from the crib. They're outside of a school in Chicago, telling them to shut the school down because some kids did some shit outside the school.
So maybe we need leaders in the public school system. Then maybe we should they volunteer, or maybe, you know, where those things don't happen then.
They do. There are people there, but nobody supports them. We don't support each other. We'll rather hate on the motherfucker that
And
look just like us, much
right.
rather than support us.
But
So what do you do then?
yeah, that's true, because you see the same thing in social media and with the rappers and stuff. So I mean, if they looking up to their idols and their idols are doing that and getting killed and you beefing with each other, then yeah, you're right. What can we do? But I believe that if we had more males in the Chicago public school system, because it's females too, but I feel like it's more rapid, the males. If we have more of that there, and it has to be a certain type of role model too, you know, everybody not gonna listen to no Joe Schmuck, you know, it has to be a certain type of guy. It has to be probably an ex-gangster, or you know, they have to see truth, they have to see real.
Why it gotta be an ex gangster? Why can't you listen to the preacher? Why can't you
Because
listen to the plumber?
I hate
That-
to
that-
say that, but she's kind of she's being honest though, because the thing is that I've even had conversations on here with other men, right? And I'll never forget, even M. White made a point to kind of say the ex-gangster is the man that a lot of people, not even just men, people in general, will take more seriously because they feel like he had boots on the ground, he went through certain things, he's earned the respect of the hood and then changed and turned around, or et cetera, right? So they're more likely to take him seriously because they're like, oh, if he's telling us the way out, then the worst of the worst aren't testing him. And so he really made it out, or he knows what he's talking about. That's how a lot of people feel.
Yeah.
Now, to touch on what Real Dope said, is it's not always sometimes that women want to be the leader with the man being the crash dummy. Sometimes what women may feel is that we'll see a man react a certain way, especially when you already have a certain type of man, whether that's like not even relationship wise, but whether that's your brother or your dad or whatever, right? And us women will feel like sometimes men don't take our disrespect as seriously as you all take your disrespect. If you get what I'm trying to say. So it's like, if that woman is saying that she wants to see you, as you put it, crash out, it's because she feels like you have a propensity to crash out about your disrespect. So why didn't you crash out about me? Because I feel disrespected. Why is your disrespect more important than mine? Because I don't think that women are walking around saying they want a man to crash out if they know that he doesn't have a propensity to already do that. They just expect whatever seriousness that you have about yourself, take it as serious as when I'm saying I'm disrespected as your sister or as your wife, or, you know, I think that's what a lot of women are saying.
Nope.
So that
No, you don't feel that way?
That actually sounds extremely selfish, because what it sounds like is you're saying that I need you men to be willing to lose your life, to go to jail, to protect my pride and my ego.
I'm not, now mind you, a lot of times as I feel like I have to say this every time, which I don't feel like I've ever gotten to talk to you, Vince. Is that how you say it is?
Yeah.
I've never gotten to talk to you, so I'm gonna reiterate, because I always say this. I'm not necessarily saying the standpoint that I'm speaking from is correct or it is exactly how I feel. I'm saying that a lot of times when I talk to women, because as everybody likes to say, I'm the social media person. Like, I talk to people amongst all social media platforms often, that is where they're coming from. They're coming from a place of, I've seen X, Y, and Z men, like for instance, right? When Shorty got hit with the brick, y'all remember that about a year or two ago when she got hit with the brick?
Yeah.
That she lied about.
Was
that she lied about?
She lied about?
No, that was my point though. You know what a lot
Make sure you
you know
include
what a
that
lot of
point.
women's point was is like it seems
Yeah,
like
I guess
men
Taylor Rose kicked in
in
on
the
Sandals.
water and swam to this man's rescue, but nobody had a woman's back like that. That was a lot of women's point that they felt like they
Imagine
camaraderie for
The
their
reason why nobody had her back was
imagine
because two men
imagine
saw what happened. Like the bitch was lying.
I'm
Like,
she was
like,
lying. So
I'm not saying
you
that
basically
that
just
she
said
wasn't
you want
lying.
men. You basically just said that you want men to crash out over a woman lying. There was no proof.
That wasn't the point that I was making. I'm saying that happened within a month's time of when the Alabama thing happened with the folding chair at the dock, right? And then all the
Right,
women
but they saw
damn, men have camaraderie for each other. We would like men when we say a lot of women were saying, and I quote, men have camaraderie for each other. Please have that same camaraderie for us when we're saying protect Black women. And I'm not saying it wasn't lying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that
that was
were
just a bad
comparing
example
that
to you.
and saying like, damn, we want to feel protected by our men the way y'all feel protected by y'all's brothers. That is the sentiment that I'm saying when I say that. I wasn't saying that she wasn't lying. I'm saying a lot of women feel like we're in situations where even I've been on these panels and men will be like, well, that's not my woman, that's not my responsibility.
Hey Viz, let me cook real quick.
Those men didn't know that
go
man
ahead.
jumped in that water and swam to. So that's how women are feeling. They're saying that we want whatever is the utmost that you will do for your respect or your homeboy's respect or your brother's respect. A lot of women are saying they want men to do that for them, but then men will turn around and be like, well, bitch, I don't know you. I ain't getting no cookie from you.
Wait, so
I'm after Willie. Willie, I'm after you.
So you said exactly what he said. You said women want men to be crash dummies. The crazy part is the reason why nobody protected that bitch is because she was lying. But then for you to use that person as like the example for your story, women like her
Knowing that
don't
she
deserve
lied.
protection. They deserve every brick they get. Like there was nothing to protect that woman for but her fucking self. And if you've seen what that woman has done since, and unfortunately she's on the internet, she deserves everything she gets. She talks about scamming Black men. She talks about setting Black men up to be robbed. She has no problem with saying getting Black men killed or calling the police and weaponize them against Black men. So bitches like that don't deserve respect. And from what I'm seeing is the women who say they need respect from men but don't get it aren't worthy of it. Because the good women men just naturally gravitate towards. If you walk into a room and a lady walks in the room, everybody in that room notices and acts different with that lady. All of us are probably not gonna curse because of how she conducts herself. But when these hyena bitches come in, we don't give a fuck about y'all. We're gonna treat y'all the same way y'all act. The women who aren't getting protected are the bitches that don't deserve protection. Because the rest of the women who conduct themselves kind, who listen to men, who respect men, who are polite with men, and who don't come across as combative bitches, they get protected. Why the fuck would I want to go protect the bitches lying about getting hit with a brick?
Now, first and foremost, Willie, you know, made me laugh and snort on this damn internet. And JR, if you clip that, I'm coming for you. Because that was not my point. My point was just to say, not that the lady specifically that I brought up was in the right. My point is that it happened so close to each other that everybody was saying, damn, the men have camaraderie. So when women be saying, which I do get your point, because I'm not gonna lie, I've been in a situation where like stuff went awry and random men that I did not know definitely were vouching for me like hell nah. Like the owner of the building was like, hell nah, I saw it on camera, you wrong, bro. He put him out. So I get what you're saying. A lot of men do have the mindset of like, I treat a woman the way that she carries herself or the way that I see her when I meet her out in public, et cetera, et cetera. So I do believe what you're saying. All I'm saying is that we're not as women, when I hear them saying that, I also understand what they mean.
Yeah.
As in, I'm not trying to get you to be a crash dummy. I just want to feel like me being disrespected is as serious as you being disrespected. And a lot of men, I do sometimes feel like they don't see it as serious
Look,
as
this is
they
why we don't.
themselves being
And here's
disrespected.
why we don't see it as being serious. Say we're out or no, we're out. You're out, and I see Hink disrespecting you and getting ready to go upside your head. I'm a crash dummy if I step in because I don't know what the fuck Hink is gonna do, and unfortunately, you're not mine to protect. So if we were out and you were mine, I don't think there's many men who aren't gonna protect their women. But for y'all to expect us to protect fucking strangers, women who we don't know, who often, generally speaking, don't respect men, are combative, don't listen to us, why would we want to risk protecting y'all? And I'm not saying this is about all women, but I am saying a large contingent of women do conduct themselves this way. Why would any man or any group of men think that, hey, you know what? That hyena got stuck in a bear trap. Let me go save that hyena and then get mad when the fucking hyena bite us or when we get in trouble. Like the way the women who want to be protected by men, if that's what they truly want, they need to conduct themselves in a manner where they qualify for a man's protection. And unfortunately, the majority of women don't.
And no, because I just, mind you, I just saw that somebody just commented like what you just said, and I get that because I
No, you
can.
don't.
Yes, I do actually, because I can say that
You wouldn't keep going
I've
you wouldn't
only
keep going
felt
though.
being in a fucked up situation maybe twice in my whole adulthood, where somebody just like I'm just minding my own business, and those were the two situations in my whole life that they, you know, like overstep boundaries, whatever. But I'm just speaking from a sense of like I look at it like this. We all got kids, right? Well, at least I don't know everybody, but most of us got kids. And as much as we want to fuck you, Willie. As much as we want to rear our kids upright, I feel like you cannot determine exactly how it's gonna go. You can't. You can't determine how that shit's gonna go.
That's why we don't protect y'all, because we can't determine how it's gonna go. If I had mind control over Hink when he was beating your ass, like in my example, and I could be like, Hink, mentally, telepathically, sir, stop beating that bitch up. If she doesn't deserve that, then we can control it. But I don't know. And then two, I don't know why Hink is beating your ass. You could have spit on Hink, you could have kicked him in his dick, you could have hit him, you could have, y'all could be having a lover's quarrel, you done said all the most egregious shit in the world. I'm not fixing to get in between that shit because it's not trying to, I don't condone domestic violence, but I do understand it sometimes. If you say the wrong thing to the right man, he gonna slap the shit out of you. I have no problem with that. Like, that's not my business, and I'm not about to go interject. I'm not a law enforcement officer. I'm not a police. I'm not a private security guard. And then two, you are not mine. I got to make a whole.
But I guess I'm coming from a place of like,
real quick, Bougie.
If your daughter's alone, you would want somebody to step in. That's the place I'm coming.
I
from.
would want someone to step in, but I would be saying if someone didn't.
Bougie, real quick, right? This is one of those things, right, where and women don't understand it, but it's the same thing as like, yo, when you put your hand out for some money from a nigga, and he like, yo, let me get to know you, and y'all on the first date, and you like, fuck you, you broke, and you go the other way. You want what you want. You don't actually want that man to give you anything of value. For example, you say that you want to feel protected, right? Women don't know what protection is. You just want what you want. You don't want to be protected. If you want to be protected, you would do what I tell you to do. You want me to be a crash dummy. You want me to, after the fact, after you done do some shit, after you go fuck some nigga, he turned out to be crazy. The nigga got face tattoos and all that type of shit, and he put his hands on you. You want to come and get me? No, you want to come and get me after you've been doing whatever you wanted to with your pussy, and you want to say, yo, this nigga put his hands on me, and you don't want to tell me why. You don't want to tell me nothing. You just like, yo, kick his ass, or else you a pussy too. That's what y'all want. You don't want protection. You want crash.
I would even go a step further. I would even go a step further. There was a video that's floating around on social media. This guy faking like he dropped some, like he found money in an envelope. He walks into this gas station. He's talking to this one guy, and the chick on the other side of the gas station, like, oh, that's my money. That's my money. She swear up and down it's her money. She calls her brother to come to the gas station. The brother walks in, and the guy's like, oh no, this fake money. This fake money. So now she's trying to, oh, I thought this was my money. Woo, woo, woo. She literally set her brother up to crash out over something that she was flat out lying about. Her brother, this blood. This ain't some nigga that she fucking. This is blood. So you can't, we as men, seeing this, seeing the brick lady, all these other examples, if you really want to feel protected by a man or by your man or by a brother, then you understand the power that you have, because in some cases that man would crash out. And so now he's going to lose his life. He's going to lose his freedom because of a woman's ego and pride. That makes no sense. That goes against the whole concept of self-preservation in which most men live by.
And Bougie, if I got a scenario for you. If somebody hit my daughter, if my daughter came home and told me somebody hit her, she said a boy hit her, right? So I talked to my daughter. I asked her what happened. I take my daughter and we go talk to the boy. I ask him what happened. We leave. I don't do nothing to the boy. What's your take on that?
Did y'all have like a conversation with his parents?
No, I just asked him what happened. I asked her what happened, and we left.
I would definitely like am I coming from a place of like I'm like
Just
the
answer the
mom?
question. Just tell me. Just answer the question. Just tell me what you
Because
think.
if I'm coming from a place as the mom, I'm definitely going to be like, hey, I think we need to have a conversation with his parents so this doesn't happen again. That's not okay to just let him slide. We need to make sure he understands that that's not appropriate behavior.
So if I talk to her and then I talk to him and I determine that whatever happened was fair, you would want to override me as a woman. If I determine that, like,
You're saying if she started, I thought you were just saying that the only thing that happened was you had a conversation with the daughter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I misheard you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I talked to my daughter, I talked to him.
Both, like you talked to both parties involved, and then you determine that.
And then I determine that I don't need to put my hands on him. I don't need to do nothing.
Okay, I will say that I want to still have a conversation with the parents, the opposite parents. I like that would be my conversation with you. I wouldn't necessarily, because like I said earlier, I do believe in having conversation amongst both parents without children present, right? So I'm going to talk to you about being like, okay, I would feel comfortable having a conversation with him to be like, if just words were exchanged, then because
because you don't trust me in what I
is it
said,
that
you want to use your own judgment. You want to be like, no, fuck what you talking about. Let me go talk to him and see if.
But
Yeah,
no,
what would you
that's
what
the
would you
thing.
say?
I
What would
feel
you
like
say
a lot of
different?
people feel like just because I'm saying something, I'm saying
She's a
something
leader.
too. No, I'm just saying something as well.
Lead your
I don't
household.
understand why men take it like because a woman is saying
Lead your
something,
household, man.
I'm going against you. No, I'm saying
Right.
something
But
to
Boozy,
you as another adult in the household. I'm just talking to you.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
why would you just trust your
overstepping you
husband?
going
Why
to
would
those
you just
other
trust your
parents
husband?
alone.
So
Why would you
Boo,
just
Boo,
trust your husband and his judgment? Why wouldn't you just let it be? I know my husband's gonna do the right thing. He's gonna lead his family in the way he should, and I trust his decision and let it
But
be.
you just asked me what would I say to you, so that implies we're
He
having a
wanted to
conversation.
determine on whether you're gonna be the leader in the household or not. I think that's really what he's trying to figure out. And you telling us you the leader. Fuck you, man. I want to talk to the people. Baby, I already had a conversation. Trust what I made a decision. Let's live with it. Do you think I would put our daughter in jeopardy and not address it in a way? No, I wouldn't. I would just trust me. I handle it. I know how you act, and that's why I didn't want you to come here and have the conversation. Allow me to do it. I think Willie said it earlier.
Yeah, I
In
was
the
going to
same
say that.
scenario earlier.
Yeah.
Look here. Let me say this. Before I leave, I think somebody up here sit there and made the statement of we need to learn how to communicate better, right? Ain't that what you said, Bo? Didn't you say we need to learn how to communicate? Well, Bougie's not doing a good example of doing it. She wants that man to go left. I expect him to
I
come with
didn't
guns
say that.
blazing.
I said I wanted
That's
to
the
communicate with him.
expectations. You said what, ma'am?
I didn't say that though. I'm saying that I want to communicate with him because what he's saying is that he had a conversation with,
No,
let's say, both
I'm
the
not talking
kids
about
or
this
whatever.
scenario that
I have a
Mont
conversation with
just
you about what y'all
presented.
talking about.
I'm talking about the other scenario that you presented with using your example as a brick lady.
Okay.
That's the example I'm talking about. You expect, and you said, why don't you you men stick together like y'all do with each other for the other women? So yes, I know what you're saying. Other men would probably have a conversation. It wouldn't take it left. A man within his right mind. Now you got some girly men who would take it left because he think that's the only way it should. We can't have a conversation, resolve the issue, and move on, like Bo was saying earlier. Most of us, you think most of us want to go straight gun blazing. No, that's not how we need to operate, move. And unfortunately, that shows how trash our community is that we need to bring in drug dealers and form of gangsters as the only people these young bloods want to respect. That's crazy. Those will be the last people I will want to talk to the kids. Those will be the last individuals I want to use as examples or role models. In my opinion, I think the parents should be the role models. That should be the role models. That's who your kids should be looking up. Hold on, Sandals. Hold on, ma'am. I think that's who the kids should be looking up. Not these entertainers, not these sports athletes, not these rappers, not even your ragged ass pastors. Your son and your daughter should be looking up to their fathers and their mothers. That should be the first role model. And me as a parent, I should be setting the example so they can be looking to me as a role model. But I landed there.
Bougie, what he's pointing out is there's always seems to be this consistent initial like refusal to defer to the man who is overall in charge and responsible for that family. Like in your case, you say, well, I want to talk to him because we should do this. That's you not deferring to your husband. Your husband makes that decision. He should obviously heed your input and your counsel when he asks for it. But for you to think that he needs to come to you first before he goes and addresses the issue, that's what we're talking about. It seems like women in these situations, even a lot of them that actually have men in the home, refuse to defer to that man in situations where he is specialized to deal with those things. Areas of conflict, areas of combat, or any of those things that y'all want to be in, like y'all get in the way and just want to have something to say, and then want the man to stand behind you and back you up in case your mouth makes shit go left or they mouth makes you shit want to go left with you. And that's what me, Viz, and Hink have been talking about. Viz pointed it out after the fact. Biz pointed out then, and I was pointing out earlier. Like that's a problem that's one of the problems in our community is that even when a man is around, the woman only leverages him as some sort of like protector, like he's a guard dog or something. Like y'all are so hard-headed and just refuse to let men be men, even though when he pays you let him be a man when it's time to pay bills. You let him be a man when it's time for him to change the smoke detector. You know, shit I'll never do. You let him be the man when you need your oil change. You let him be a man when you want your gas and shit done. You let him be a man when it's time to get your back blown out. But when it's time for you to be a man in a way that doesn't benefit you or doesn't sate that emotional that need you have, like your inner child, like then it's a problem. But then you want the guy just to be back and just to back you up as if like he's not the leader of the household.
Well, I want to clarify what I'm saying. When Real Dope gave his scenario, right? In that scenario, the way I interpreted what he gave was you had a conversation with, let's say, the parents, or you talked to our child, and then you also talked to the other child. And when he asked me, what am I going to say to that? First of all, I'm taking that as you're now ready to have a conversation with me about what happened. And my initial response is like, okay, well, can we both mutually have a conversation with the parents to just get an understanding of like set boundaries or whatever happened? Because I'm taking it like, if you're saying you had a conversation, then let's say you got called up to school. Okay, maybe I wasn't present. Maybe like you were off from work that day and I wasn't, or whatever the case was. So that's the place that I'm responding from, not just of a place of like, oh, fuck what you talking about. No, I'm saying I want to have a conversation with you. And obviously, if you're asking me how am I going to respond, then we're in the midst of that conversation.
But you notice you just said that we can mutually have a conversation. Like, why do you have to be involved? Why can't you defer to your husband? Because like you said, he was off work. He went up there and handled it. What is there for you to talk to him about now? All he needs to do is let you know what happened. You've been informed, and he can tell you what's going forward. And then you can get on his game plan and then keep going. Like that's the part I'm saying is like y'all refuse to defer to men because you have to have a say in everything. Like you literally, like in the last 60 seconds you spoke, double down everything that Hink and Viz and I told you. Like you have to have your foot in something. You have to have a say. Like y'all got to learn to stay out of men's business. The same way you wouldn't want your husband in the middle of you and your girlfriend arguing about some shit, or you and your sister. Why? Because it's not his business. That's women's business. He's taking care of a household issue for a child that he is ultimately responsible for. If that kid goes to jail or becomes you saying he fucks up, they're not gonna blame you if a man was around, if his dad was in his life. They'll be like, oh no, his daddy was in his life, so we don't know what was wrong. His daddy probably wasn't this. But if that same amount of grace is going to be afforded to you, that we'll never actually benefit from. That's why we're saying y'all got to learn to shut up sometimes. Like that sounds super harsh when you say it that way, but goddamn, like shutting the fuck up is super easy. And if I was a woman and had a man where I could shut the fuck up with, I would shut the fuck up at every possible chance that I could. Because I don't want to have a say in everything.
Hey, so Bougie, I'm curious because it does sound like you kind of switched up. So at first you said that you wanted to talk with the parents of the child.
No, I'm saying the initial conversation would be with the father, right?
with your husband, or
yeah,
okay,
with my husband. And then after having that initial conversation, then I might say something like, okay, do we need to go and talk to the parents? Or like I'm saying that these are ideas that I would be generating during that initial conversation, depending on whatever we're talking about. That's all I'm saying.
You said it again.
The initial conversation though is that I want to have, because my thing is like I said, when he gave the scenario, I'm thinking like he said it in a sense of like, I'm not present. He's just bringing me some information. So now me and him are having a conversation initially, and I'm
about
saying
the situation.
I'm just saying the first couple things that may pop in my head in that moment, right?
So what would you say to the parents that would be different from what your husband said to him?
Like then in the conversation that me and my husband are having would then just be whatever.
Well, no, we're past the conversation that you have with your husband,
and then that information that I have with my husband would be.
Wait, hold on, Boozy. So you have the conversation with your husband. You then say, okay, I think that we still need to meet with the parents of this son. What is it that you're going to say differently, hypothetically, of course? What is it that you would say differently that your husband didn't already address or say?
I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I don't necessarily think that I have to have a conversation with the other parents. That's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. I'm saying that could be one of my responses. But like, I'm having a conversation with my husband, depending on what he's saying is what I'm like. Sometimes you're not having a conversation with the parents and et cetera, et cetera. Sometimes you're just him as the dad is just getting the call. He may have answered the phone before I could get to the phone, right?
Well, no, we gave a very mine gave a very specific scenario.
He talked to the kids. So if he talked to the daughter and then he talked to the other child involved, now I'm like, okay, did the school have a conversation with the parents? Did you have a conversation with the parents? If we haven't reached that step, I would like to have a mutual conversation with both of them.
And say it again. Like, you just put yourself back in it again. It's not if we didn't have a conversation, Bougie. It's if he didn't. So listen. When you,
that's what I said. If he didn't have a conversation,
that's not what you said. So let me tell you why I say this. When you're negotiating something, if the person you're negotiating with leaves and comes back with somebody else, that somebody else is now in charge. That somebody else has the leverage. He's the decision maker. And it's what you're saying is you want your husband to come back to you and then bring you to the school or to the parents. That's exactly what you've said 4 times now. Because you keep saying that you said we. You keep interjecting yourself into the conversation that he had with those kids, that he had with those parents. Because you keep saying we instead of he. Like, babe, do you need to go back to the school and talk to them about this? Babe, do you need to go talk to the parents? And you keep putting yourself in it.
Let me clarify one more time, Willie. What I'm saying is, and I quote, If he in that situation, what I heard him say was he had a conversation with both of the kids, right? To get
Mhm.
an understanding of what our child said and then what the other child said. If you have not had a conversation yet with the parents, or you have not had like a parent teacher conference or whatever, I would like to be present for said scheduled meeting with the adults. Is
For
that
what?
wrong that I want to be a
No,
present parent?
no, so that's not what you said for one.
Not what
But
you said.
this is the thing. If I tell
This is wrong.
if
If
I
you've
tell
only
you,
had a conversation with the children,
Fuji,
I would like to be a
no,
participant
Fuji,
in the
Fuji,
adult conversation.
Fuji.
Why?
If I tell you it's good, it's good. If I say no, it's good, I talk to them. It's good. We good.
Shouldn't even be anything else to talk about after that. That's what
It,
I
Like
say.
it,
Like that's what I'm
it, it
saying. Like
sounds
women
it,
refuse to
it
refer to their
sounds
men.
like it will actually be a fight at this point. It sounds like it'll be a fight between you and your husband at this
You
point.
want to
There is
toe.
nothing that unless
You going
listen,
toe to toe? Who gonna wear these goddamn pants?
unless
Oh
your
yeah.
man is 100% incompetent, you coming to that conversation is not going to bring anything of value or it's going to move the needle. If anything, it'll make it
Y'all
worse.
are judging me because I want to be at the parent teacher conference?
No,
Yeah,
we're not
you want to
judging
be
you.
there.
We're characterizing that behavior as women who don't want to defer to their men. So it's not about you, general. There's a billion women who do this shit. But again,
But did you
no,
hear the
that's what I'm
word?
do you
asking.
know how?
Did
Wrong
y'all
to
hear the
want to
word?
be.
He said,
Boogie,
"Are
do you
we
know how
checking
cool it
her?"
would
I'm
be if
genuinely
your man
asking
came
though.
home and
That's
told
wrong
you
to
that he
not
did
be
this and was like, "Babe, I got it," and you just shut the fuck up and said, "Okay, boo, guess what's for dinner?" Like that's how easy that should be.
present.
But instead of you doing that, you want to be involved now because the dad had a conversation. Your husband, the man you chose to lead your house, the man who was ultimately responsible for you, the man whose protection and provision you fall under, you want to go back under and not intentionally, but unintentionally undermine what it was that he did. Because again, the second parent who
Definitely
gets
not trying to
involved is
undermine.
always going to be the scene is going to be viewed as a decision maker. So everything he said before you got there is null and fucking void now. And unfortunately, when a man brings a woman into an area of conflict, it is a significant risk of that conflict escalating. Like somebody in the chat said, and this is their opinion of you, not
It's
mine.
not unintentional.
I have no
intentional.
issue. To be clear,
It
I have
is
no issue
intentional.
with you. I don't agree
Don't
with
say
this.
it's
This
not
is their
intentional.
opinion of
That's
you
not
said
me trying to
exactly this.
undermine. Are we really saying
Hold
that
on.
me trying to be present at like a
Yes.
parent teacher conference is bad?
Yes, it is bad when the husband's already
It's
taken care of.
intentional.
It's
No, I'm
intentional.
Will, stop saying
no,
it's
but my
unintentional.
first
It's
words were,
intentional.
if it hasn't happened yet, I want us both to attend.
That's not listen. If so, this is the part that I think I don't think that you're intentionally missing it, but I think that you're not listening to understand now. If he's already addressed a piece of it, he's got it. There is nothing that you do. If there's a second piece, a third piece, you bring no value to that conversation. You can talk to him and he can come convey what your concerns are, make sure you're represented, but you don't need to be there. That's not listen. All you have to do is say, you know what, babe, you got it. Thank you. I appreciate it. But can you remind them that this is not the first time this happened? Can you remind them that they have policies in place that they should be following to police this type of behavior? He'll say, all right, yeah, babe, I got you. And he goes to school and does that. You don't need to be up there locking step with them. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, women want to be seen and heard so bad in almost everything when all you guys do typically is get in the way and make shit worse in these types of situations.
What I've been told, as far as like even the way that I was raised is that my parents always presented a united front when it came to going up to that school and defending me. So I'm not gonna say that like mommy took the lead or my dad took the lead. It was just both of my parents being in support of whatever that decision was of what Bougie has going on. I want you to understand there is no division in Bougie's household. So we're going up there together.
You don't have to have both parents to do that. For example, I wouldn't piss on my youngest son and daughter's mother if she was on fire. And I'm pretty sure she feels the same way about me. But I'll tell you what she also doesn't do. When something happens at that school, I get called. We have a conversation. I go up there and address it. Because if nothing else, she understands that that's not her business. She understands that in some cases, even though we're not married, she still gets to shut the fuck up and I'll take care of stuff. That's the problem. Like, she defers to me because she understands that I'm one, the fucking father, I'm responsible, and that two, if she goes up there, she's gonna do all that rah-rah shit. Unfortunately, that a lot of y'all do. Someone in the comments, or a few people in the comments, have said that they don't believe that you would be able to have a civil conversation with your kids. I can see it. I can see you saying a mom being emotional and getting turned up, but for that same reason, why you got to stay your ass at home, because all you being there is a risk of making things worse, and the benefit of you feeling good about being involved and getting, get that warm fuzzy is, oh, we did this together, babe. Oh, you told them, does not outweigh the risk of you going over there and tearing up shit or making shit worse.
I mean, I respect what you're saying. And I also just want to put it out. I don't get out of pocket at my kids' school ever. That's not me. Now
I listen to the comments that
hold on now.
No, let me tell you what's
said that you was gonna clear house if they would mess with your daughter. You said you're gonna fight for yours.
Let me tell you the difference. The difference was that was not on school property. Because that was not on school property. That was at a bus stop type situation. When I'm going up there to handle a situation with other adults that we can have a mutual adult conversation, I've definitely gone up there and been like, hey, I don't agree with this. This is not right. This is not what's going to be tolerated. We teach our daughter blah, 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 blah. And he's speaking his piece, whatever the case is. Now, when it comes, because you got to understand, duality is a thing. You want to be a ratchet parent? We could meet on Ratchet Boulevard right there at the corner of Hood Street, and you could get that ass whooped.
So that's why we don't need to take you. You're doing it right now. That's why we need to leave you at home.
You just proved the very point.
But no, wait a minute.
I don't want to go to Ratchet Avenue.
Sit down at the
school. Go to Ratchet Avenue. Stay at home.
A parent-teacher conference. You want to be you want to be on PTA just like me? Then that's what we're going to do. I meet people where the disrespect meets me at.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
You're proving our point.
Yeah,
I didn't say you were wrong.
You're literally
I didn't say you were wrong, though, Willie. I'm just saying that my whole thing was just I would like to
are you hearing this, ma'am?
In amicable conversations. That's all I'm saying.
Bo, is this not what you was talking about, ma'am?
That's all I said.
Is this not what you talking about? Because right now she said I'm ready to go to Ratchet Avenue.
Bo is way more mature than me, and I've said that on several panels. Bo is the woman that I aspire to have her maturity when I get older. I don't have that maturity yet. I'm still in my 20s.
Bougie, I agree, but that's still no excuse.
I'm not there yet.
Still no excuse.
How old are you, Bougie?
I said I'm 29. Oh, you weren't here. I'm 29.
Yeah, we still
I'm working on it. I'm working on the cusp of 30. Because mind you, at 26, we wouldn't have had no amicable. I wasn't on PTA. I wasn't having no amicable.
And that's why that man needs to leave your ass at home, because we don't want to go to Ratchet Avenue.
But I'm also taking accountability and saying I know how I was, and I am literally growing. And I am mature enough now to have conversations with teachers, principals, et cetera, et cetera. But at the same time, when we are outside of that school setting, like we weren't at a school when they tried to jump my daughter. We were outside across the field. My daughter's playing with her siblings in the grass field, and y'all are trying to jump her because she's trying to stick up for herself and be like, no, y'all can't use up my toys and you can't eat up my snacks. So if you want to go get your mama for that BS, then yes, I'm gonna meet you wherever your mama come out of that house at, on Hood Street and Ghetto Boulevard.
But why not just have a constructive conversation with the parent so that you can set a great example for your daughter?
The difference is she came out of the house and had a calm conversation. So we did have a calm conversation. But also had instances where those parents aren't having calm conversations, and I'm trying to talk to them like a civilized adult. You're not respecting it. Okay,
right,
understand.
So then in that situation, you walk away though.
Go.
Right, but then in that situation, to set a great example for your daughter, that's when you walk away.
Walk away from what? Somebody hitting me? That's not the example. Y'all can take this however y'all want to.
They were hidden. Okay, I didn't know that they were hitting you. You didn't say that.
Oh yeah, and this is hand to God on my kids. I've never started a fight, but I could promise you, I was raised by old school parents. I'm gonna finish it. I've never started a fight.
Shout out to you for finishing the fight. I think he wants to get Bo and then Phil in.
I have listened to this last conversation, and You all would be surprised to hear this from me. But I think that it's an amazing thing to be able to sit back and let the fathers handle whatever. Because all too often, there are fathers who do not handle it. I would welcome that. You took care of it? Great. I'm gonna go lay down. I would not, I honestly wouldn't be bothered. And I think that more mothers should be like that because if the father is willing and able to take an active role in parenting, disciplining, and solving problems with the children, because we know how fathers love to, some fathers love to ignore that role. If they're doing that, baby, take your rest. Take your rest. Take a nap. Write in your journal. Do anything but worry yourself with whatever is happening now. If you don't trust that man made a good decision, that's a conversation that you have to have with yourself. Otherwise, I ain't scheduling no meetings. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't doing nothing. You handled it. Thank you, baby. And then that's it. So surprisingly, I definitely agree with the men in the situation.
Respect. Respect. Round of applause. But also to add on to even what both was just saying right there, and everyone, I say it like this, and I'm sure we've heard the phrase before: responsibility without authority is slavery. To me, we have the responsibility as the head, as the leader, because we are built to be able to lead adequately. We're supposed to be built in order to rationalize a thing out, think a thing through, speak, think first before, speaking. So with that, if he's competent, then he should have that responsibility and authority to handle it. If he's not competent, then if y'all married and you chose him, then you kind of have to eat that a lot of times. Because what happens is it's going to be a button of heads. It's going to be, I just want to say this or say that. I'm not sure if y'all saw this video not so long ago. It was well, no, actually it was old, but I just saw this video with a woman who she whooped a child at the school. She drug him out, and she got in trouble because she was calling him all kinds of names, call him, nigga this, nigga, and it's like, and mother effer and all of this stuff at the school.
What?
And it was crazy, and it was being recorded by her friend. And they chose to put it on social media like that was a flex. Like, yeah, I handle my business. My son ain't gonna be up here acting a fool. It's like, nah, you don't do that. You have to go in with a level of calmness but assertion. Like Real Dope was talking about earlier. We're already looked at as violent or volatile or something that's could potentially be a threat generally. So usually that calmness is going to show I'm going to de-escalate this because we know the end result at the end of the day is what you've heard also appear from a couple of the men is violence to another magnitude. It's death. And a lot of times females think about it and they'll be like, I can kind of run my mouth and I'm not usually going to get hit or slapped or punched or whatever. It's different from men. We ain't trying to fight. We ain't trying to run our mouth. We ain't trying to do none of that because we know at the end of the day, we gonna have to put up or shut up. We gonna have to, get down or die. And we're already ready to die if we're a real man, you know, in a sense, a man that understands what the end result is at the end of the day. The baddest person is the one that can inflict pain. To me, that's why God is bigger than the devil. Because at the end of the day, the devil can't win. So,
No, man. According to Bougie, it don't matter if she feel disrespected, man. You gotta throw your life up there, man. You gotta put your life on the line if she feel
Never
disrespected.
said that. Never said that.
You
Bougie,
gotta
you know,
you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready to crash out if she feel disrespected.
Never said
Bougie, you
that.
know that's a
yeah.
lot of women's problems. Bougie is that y'all just do too much. Y'all be no like you know the women that had threesomes with their men. They only had threesomes because they just want to be there when he cheating, right? Like y'all want to be involved with everything. Like damn, like can I cheat in peace?
This nigga said, "Can I cheat in pieces?"
That's
You
determined.
want to have you want to have threesomes. What you mean?
They call that
Cheat in
sacrifice.
pieces. No, I'm more so just in a standpoint of like I can't help that. Like I can respect everything that y'all are saying, but definitely when it comes to these kids, I'm the same way that I'm not gonna tell a man because mind you, the way that y'all are saying is women don't need to partake in everything. You also have to understand that there are a lot of men that feel like the kids aren't even their business. Like the kids and the household and stuff is just the woman's place. So it's just the mama up there at the parent teacher conference, or it's just the mama up there doing like
That's
I
that's moving the goalpost though,
no,
Bougie.
I was saying that to say that I just kind of almost feel like I want you to be as involved as I am, and I want to be as involved, like specifically on children. Like we went 50-50 on this baby, on all of them. I love him just as much as you love him. I want him to succeed as much as you do. I want to protect him as much as you do. And I get it. As men, y'all feel like y'all's role is to protect. I 100% respect that part of it. I really do, sincerely. I'm not bullshitting. But it's just like when it comes to them babies, I really do. I see my kids as like that's my whole world. So
I,
it's like I love them like y'all do. I want to protect them I want to do I want to pour into them as much as I can. So it's never that I'm trying to overstep, but specifically when it comes to the babies, I want to go half on everything. Fuck it.
I got a question. I got
Love
a question. And I don't know if this will be a valid comparison or not, but I would assume do you believe in gender roles?
on
It's a yes or no. It's a yes or no.
I'm gonna go with 70-30. A lot of things, yes, because in my house, a lot of things
Okay,
are
that's cool.
traditional,
That's
like
cool.
stay at home mom and
That's cool. That's
doing
cool.
all of
That's
that.
cool.
Yeah.
So let's say you're doing your daughter's hair, right? You've been doing your daughter's hair, however old she may be. Let's say she's 8 years old.
She'll be 10 next month.
Okay, she's 10 years old. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you know how you know how to do your daughter's hair. You know her how
Mhm.
tender headed she is. What hairstyles work best. You
Mhm.
know what she'll sit through, what she won't sit through. So let's say dad says, "Hey, you know what? I like this hairstyle more than this hairstyle that you know is effective and efficient. That's going to last her however long, so you won't have to do it for another week." Would it be uh arguably would it be would you get frustrated with him saying, "Hey, why don't you do it this way that's going to take longer or be more difficult compared
No,
to this way that you know is more effective?"
you want to know it's crazy that you brought that example up because truthfully, with both of our daughters, when it came time to him feeling like, well, in the event that you're not here and I want to take the girls somewhere like before we had our son or whatever, or I want to go get their hair done. he was willing to take that advice from me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really feel like that was we really have a space of where I'm like, I can lean on you and you can lean on me. Where even as the example that you gave when it came to hair, he was willing to learn how to comb their hair based on what I said. And when he felt like he wanted to do something different because our oldest loves this style, but our youngest daughter loves this style, he was like, okay, well, it's not working when I do it the way you do it. So guess what? Now I'm going to pay for it to get done. It never gave, I just mind my business because it's me combing their hair, and you just mind your business because it's time to discipline. It really was like, well, I want to talk to you about this because I know what the girls like when it's this and this and that. And then I hate to even get too personal, but I'm gonna tell you like this. My oldest just came into her womanhood, right? I had to teach him. And he was okay with learning that because sometimes I'm not going to be at home. And what if her lady business starts? What if her cycle starts? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe that there is a gender role for parenting because God forbid I get on the interstate today or tomorrow, my tire blow out, my car flip over twice. Who's going to teach her how to put on her tampon? Because all she knows how to do is use a pad right now.
Wait,
You know
so
what I'm saying? Like, those are the things. I don't
her
think it's gender neutral for parenting. It's like you
so her
have to be a parent fully on both aspects.
so to that point, so you're saying that dad should talk to her about how to use a tampon?
I feel like that is so. I feel like
Well, why would he do that if he's never used one?
because I feel like it's not about whether you've used one. I feel like it's about if you're being prepared for parenthood, because you never know. A lot of people, when they talk about single parenting, they talk about single parenting from an aspect of, oh, if the relationship didn't work out and we just fell out and we don't want to talk no more, but you still at your mama house and I come get you on the weekends, or you still at your daddy house and you see your mama every other week. And I look at it like, if something happens to your father or if something happens to me and you don't have that provision anymore, I don't have that provision anymore because I'm a younger millennial, and these Gen Zers aren't coming to fight you. They're coming to blow your head off, right? So at the end of the day, if he's not
Where are
present,
we going right now with this?
I'm coming from that. I'm going to tell you, if he's not present or I'm not present, the things that you say your daughter's mom should have taught her, what if she didn't? What if she expired before then? What if I'm not there to teach her about
Then
that?
you easily
That's
find
that's why
another woman to teach her these
that's why you
things.
have grandmothers. That's why you have aunties, cousins, sisters.
YouTube.
My personal here and again, my personal story. My father's mom died when he was 15, long before he had me, because he had me at 30. My grandmother on my mom's side passed away when I was 8. So had I not had parents that were still alive at this age, at 63 and 61, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that you have to be fully prepared as a parent, not we meet each other halfway as a parent. It's I am fully prepared in the event that something happens, and he's fully prepared in the event that something happens. And that's all I'm
Yeah, but I'm with that. I'm on board with that. I understand that part. But and just using the in my opinion, the gender role specific example of showing my daughter how to use a pad or a tampon, I feel like most men would agree that that's not a position that a man should have to place themselves in, because we don't experience that. I don't know what the fuck that's like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to insert it. I don't know how to remove it. I don't know how to properly wipe or clean, or you know what I'm saying? That's
I get that part.
not me. That's for the woman
But
to do.
here's the difference. The difference is when I had that conversation with him, having the conversation with him didn't necessarily, let's say it didn't teach him how to insert it, no, but it gave him the general gist of, hey babe, look, in the event that I'm not home, because I'm gonna get so honest with y'all. Even me as a woman teaching her, I can go to Target right now, right? And when I'm not here, and because she's still young and this is her first year in it, it's still a whole shit show. So when he's here, he still has to be the person to be like, baby, because she's in the bathroom and she needs help, and I'm at the grocery store. You still have to be a present parent because we're still, you get what I'm saying, two parents in the household. So you're right, real, like you said in the comments, no parent is fully ever prepared. I damn sure wasn't fully prepared. So we had my mama, his mama, my daddy, and then his aunties and except all of that, right? But what I'm saying is as two parents in the home, it was just as simple as, if I go down the street to the damn Target, he could at least tell her, because I showed him, hey, this is how a tampon works. You're gonna pull it out the wrapper, pull it down, push it up. Or hey, this is how a pad works. Put it on the panty, wrap it around, wrap it around. So he can at least show that simplification if he needs to remind her. I'm not saying you know it perfectly. I'm not saying it don't give you, because I see Hink right now. I'm not
But
saying
don't YouTube know that?
it don't make you, but I'm saying that in the event that something happens, you are somewhat educated on what it's like for when I'm not around. And in the event that something happens to you, because let's fuck that shit. The comments is up here talking about some, oh, don't have no babies with no hood, nigga, no hood. No, something is happening to people. People is having heart attacks at 30. People is getting in car accidents all of 2016. When I only had one kid, people was losing their life in car accidents by the droves. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that you have to be prepared for, because when you bring life into this world, it's not just you anymore. Anything can happen to you where your significant other, your husband, your wife has to be prepared for if they have to raise that baby alone, even if they didn't make a piss poor decision.
You know,
Saying let's
Never,
have a conversation to be prepared. That's it.
Bougie,
no,
you know,
this
if you ever lost your husband, you need to find a new husband. Like
Yeah, but that's gonna
I
take
get,
time.
I totally understand the idea of you trying to raise the man by yourself, but I would hope that you would find another qualified guy the way that that from being with me. I would hope that you would get another good male figure inside of my son's life instead of you trying to land the plane yourself, because you're not a pilot, you know.
No, but don't you want her to properly take y'all always talk about taking the time and vetting and this and this and that. So that you can't expect you God forbid, I'm not putting that on nobody. So let me not even say you.
Nope.
But the person passes away, and then okay, you want your shorty, or you want your man to just go and hop in a marriage 6 months later, 3 months. No, you want to make sure that
Bougie, I don't want you to be stupid.
right.
No. Yeah, we don't want you to be stupid, Bougie. We want you to make sound decisions. But my thing is, the idea that us men need to know how to put a tampon on is crazy. Like just
that's
you
crazy
can
as hell.
taper it
Are
back.
you real
Bougie,
though? You serious right now? As somebody that has daughters,
Bougie, you can taper it back a little bit. Like when it comes to like, I can find a woman to talk to my daughters real quick about the tampon. Like they got aunts. I got friends. Like I don't have to tell them how to
real
put a
dope.
tampon.
How old is your oldest daughter?
I'm trying to figure this out. Doesn't the daughter able to retain the knowledge that you passed on to her? How many times do she have to do it before she start to understand and get it?
I'm not gonna lie. It takes a minute simply because they have to learn.
Well, I mean, you can look on YouTube. I literally just
They
looked
have
on
to learn
YouTube.
hormonal changes. They have to start understanding, like, okay, when I go to school, I have to make it a point to go to the bathroom, even when it's not bathroom time. Maybe I need to change every hour versus some girls can change every 4 hours. Maybe I'm heavier than some girls. So maybe I can't wear a regular tampon or a regular size pad, even though, because mind you, on the box, right? On the box, it gives you a guide.
I
The
think
guide
Bo's trying
will
to say
say if you're in this size underwear, you wear this size tampon or pad.
That's
But
so
no.
hard. Yeah, I'm
Oh,
just
go ahead,
trying.
Bo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That okay, right. I don't I don't really like that. I'm understanding the man better now. The only reason why I understand this is because I am the help. My best friend got custody of his children, a boy and a girl, when they were very young. I think they were like 6 and 7. They were just barely in school. Now, some men are going to be able to pick this up and research it, and they're going to learn and they're going to do. There's few and far between. Other men, and my best friend is, very much so not a typical manly man, but he still needed help. Just like women need help with boys when they are single mothers, they're going to have men in order to instruct them for things that they do not know what to do. Because we do not have phalluses. We need people with phalluses to teach them what to do with their phallus. Okay? I just know how to pleasure it. I don't know how to take care of it. Whatever. Just being honest. So, that man has to be smart enough to have a woman to help him with that daughter. And that is how he is going to make it in the event that the mother is not there. We have to have a community. I was the mother to those children. I am the one that took her through that. And I'm the one that taught her how to do her hair and did her hair. All of the things that girls need. He tried his best. But luckily, he had a best friend that was a woman. And I stepped in and I took over that role because that mother was a terrible person. So I have to side with Viz in this situation because men should not know these things. They can find out. They can do the work and do it themselves. Um, but all men are not going to be able to grasp that because they cannot they can't imagine because they don't have a vagina. So they just can't imagine these things and they can't realistically teach their daughters that they can do the best they can, but they're going to need a woman to do it. And they're gonna reach out to their community to do so.
Bougie, do you know how to change a tire?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes.
What's the pattern to take the tire off, to put the tire back on?
I don't know what you mean by pattern, but I do know you take the little tire iron and you put it in each one of the bolts and you turn it that way to loosen it up, and then you take it off. And then
hold on. You turn it where? You turn it where, Bougie?
I just know the motions. I don't know how to explain it. I just know the motions. And then recently I also learned how to put air in the tire too. And I learned how to check the air pressure as well because I understand that, like, when I'm like in the event that I'm by myself.
Do you know what your tire size is?
Yes, I have it in my
Okay.
phone actually.
Okay.
Yeah, I keep
Do
it.
you know what the numbers are for?
You know how much pressure
Now
to
I
put in
don't
your
know what the numbers are for, but I know the pressure is supposed to be at 32.
How was
your
pressure
vehicle?
measured?
How would I know that? I just know you put the thing on the thing. Look, don't give me a hard time. I know like that you put the thing on there and then I read the little screen thing, and if it's below Usually, if it's below like 25, is when you need to go ahead and
What,
put the air in.
what's the unit of measure that the tire pressure is measured by?
Not real dope. You antagonized me like you did last week. Why would you think I know that?
It's universal for everything that have air in it.
I don't know. I don't know what? Tire
So
pressure.
do you know your tires is 32 for sure, right? Because most cars are
Yeah,
35.
it literally no, it says 32 that it's supposed to be. I even read that in the manual because the first time I had a problem, they was real dope was making fun of me. What was that last week, 2 weeks ago, JR? When JR real dope and Trev was making fun of me because I was like, I had a bad day, my car ran hot, and I didn't know what color the coolant was supposed to be, but I learned it was supposed to be orange.
It depends on the car.
To be orange.
No,
Yeah,
that's
that
not necessarily.
varies. Yeah,
No,
that
my
varies.
specific coolant, the coolant that says it lasts for the one in the handbook that for my car, my manual that says it lasts up to like 5 years, this and this and that. The brand or whatever is the orange one,
Well,
and all that.
so Bougie, when I asked about the pattern, so there's a specific pattern that you're supposed to follow when you put the tire back on the car. Are you aware of that, or do you just put it back on and then screw everything together?
I think it starts clockwise, right? That's how they said do it. It's
Look,
clockwise.
when your tire's flat, the first thing you need to do is loosen the lug nuts. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
While it's still on the ground, don't lift it up and then try to do it. That ain't gonna work.
No, and then you put the jack under there and you pump it up, and then you put the tire iron back on there and you
Remember, I said loosen them up. Don't take it all the way, the lug nuts all the way off. Just loosen them up.
yeah, and then you take the
jack
tire
your
off
car
once you jack it up, right?
and make sure and depends on the type of jack you got. Make sure there's a railing up under there. You need to set it on so you can.
At me, Hank. Tell him to stop picking on me.
You're gonna be there for 4 hours.
Wait a minute.
That jack that come with the car going kick her ass.
Wait a minute. Wait.
I recommend a heavy duty
Can I
jack.
say this?
But a lot of people don't want to keep a heavy duty jack in the trunk.
I get AAA through my phone service. I have free AAA through my phone service, like my cell phone service. And I am not. I don't know. Y'all always be talking about modern women, whatever. I'm not modern women.
No, you're gonna be waiting for 5 hours for AAA.
To change a tire, call somebody to change, get on the phone real quick, take it to Pet Boys real quick. I don't look.
Right there.
He over here sleep.
You on flats.
Right there.
How you gonna take it to Pet Boy? You on flats.
No, he put the other day actually, because it's funny y'all say that because it's not funny, but it's funny because it's like y'all in my business for real. y'all must be on my Instagram because my tire had this weird leak because the air thing, the thing you put the air thing on,
so your valve
it was
thing was
broken. Yeah, the valve thing was broke, so it kept having a leak, and so he called the people to get it towed to Pet Boys, and then they got a brand new tire, and it's an all-weather tire. Something called it was something that cost $250.
So hold on.
I ain't
So
paid
you
for it.
replaced the whole tire for? You know, you could have just replaced the valve stem. They conned you
Let
into
me
buying a
tell you
whole new
something.
tire. You realize that, right?
I don't know nothing about that, but I said I want whatever is gonna fix the problem, and he said, "Well, baby, the new tire gonna be $250."
Bougie, what year your car?
Need a man.
Bougie, what year your car?
Don't be in my business.
No, real quick. What year is it? Like
No, because you always in my business. I'm not answering none of your questions, real though. All you did last week was laugh at me. You and JR just laughed at me when I told y'all I had car problems.
I was saying he don't got no business putting a new tire on that car.
Why not? No, because at the end of the year, like around Christmas,
I think he's trying to read
get a brand new car. So fuck that shit. I'm gonna get a brand new car. That is the go to work car. You know, when you work service industry, you can't get no brand new car and ride to work.
She's trying to read the super chat.
We'll get to the super
Try
chat.
to read super chat.
You want me to read them?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Top Authority song I'm playing with a half deck. Happy Born Day, JR.
Thank you.
Shots. Let's take shots. Gen X is 1965 to 1980. Gen Y, aka Millennial, is 1981 to 1996. And Gen Z is 1997 to 2012. Member of 6 months. Generation Love, you sent $20. You sent $20. Thank you. Again with the happy birthday. And that's on period.
You didn't say the name.
Oh, but Renumzi? Brenumzi.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close. I always say Brano, but they always ask me why I say that.
Okay. All right. Chicago Rilla, happy birthday, JR. All love, always champ. That's with the $20.
Appreciate that. Salute.
MViz Willie, salute. $4.99.
Wiley.
Oh, Wiley, I'm sorry. Big Ant 11,
Oh,
10.
good. I forgive you.
Respect to JR, to Viz, to Hinks, old. I'm not reading that. Y'all ain't gonna do Hink like that. I'm not reading that.
Yo, bro.
He ain't even that old.
I
got it.
99.
I called him old.
Happy birthday, JR. Appreciate you. John Henry, $20. Happy birthday, JR. Devil Games X, also member 499. You only get leaders in community. You fix the black family. If there's no two-parent households, then you get no leaders or community. Devil X again, also member 199. A community is a reflection of the families. Big Ant, $10. But bougie, remember from your own words. You don't need me. Stand on it. How I do or don't respond isn't up to you. And lastly, Devil X, also a member 199. Happy birthday, JR. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in to Wednesday show.
I want to respond to that.
Respond to what? Which one?
Oh, that second to last one.
Right.
I understand that. Yeah. Okay. I have never been on this platform and said women don't need men. I have never been on this platform and said I don't need a man. I've been on this platform saying I don't pay no bills. I don't pay for my nails, my lunch, my hair. I don't. So I never said that. What I said is it is better not to need a man and to want a man, because I want you for you. Even when you get in the trenches and when you fall short, I still want you, and I'm willing to help you, which is the type of woman I've been since the moment I was 16. I was riding for YN 16. Yeah. So don't ever put words in my mouth. I love black men. I ride for black men. I believe in being, what is that called? Racially allegiant. I don't even play like that. I love y'all down.
Spell it.
Yeah. Shut up, Jay.
Spell Allegiant.
I said Allegiant.
I said spell it.
ALLGIENT. Coming from the girl that almost got hired by Allegiant Airlines, I know how to spell Allegiant. Don't play with me. Look it up.
No.
Look it up.
No, I think you forgot an E.
Allegiant. Yeah, Allegiant Airlines want me to come work for them. Don't play with me.
All right.
Don't play with me.
Chariot.
All right. Well, thank you guys. Catch us tomorrow for the Thursday show. Appreciate you guys.